Hooray. Of all themes to pop in my head, it's Star Wars, of course. How you doing, folks? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're all having a wonderful Saturday. I know I'm having a pretty good one. I'm gonna jump back in with this character. Boom. XOX match. How you doing? Welcome. Ludus, you wonderful human being. Welcome to the stream as well, you handsome son of a bitch. Are we doing well? So, oh, good morning, Kaiju. Asha, welcome, welcome. Well, everybody's hopping in pretty quick here. It's good to see. Love to see it. Love to see the engagement from my fine gentlemen and gentle ladies. So, yes, today I'm going to be playing some Titan Quest and also talking a little bit about some other games that... Well, one's in early access, the other one's been out for years. It's in the title. We'll be talking about a little bit about Stormgate, and I did play it. I played it for a little over an hour, hour and a half. And I have some shit to say. Not a lot positive. But I'm going to wait till more people hop in the stream. Gonna keep on rolling. Don't feel handsome in extreme pain, but having fun watching you. Well, I'm sorry about the pain part, obviously. If it's extreme, you should probably go to the hospital. Hey, Karen, this game looks good. I bet some good-looking fella recommended it to you. Is that from a biased source, one could say? Yes, I should denote that I found out about this game, Titan Quest, from my buddy Karn. I did not know this existed prior to now. I've been having a blast. I've been playing it a lot lately. I played Diablo 2 back in the day. I love Diablo 2. I love Path of Exile. I love ARPGs. So the fact that I never knew this existed was kind of a shocker to me. This game is a masterpiece. I am finding that out, yes. It's been a lot of fun. I really like the dual class system. I haven't gotten very far. I'm only, like, my max character, I think, is 13. This is another character I started very recently. As you guys could probably tell, I'm not very far along. I'm just in Megara. Which, for context, for those who don't know this game, that's like the third region you go to. And I only just got to it. So, we're pretty early on, and I've been having a blast. It has been such a good game recommendation. Undead Nerd, speaking of pain, my ear tubes were really painful, but thank God there's no infection. Well, I'm glad there's no infection. I'm not a fan of games where the gameplay is a drone shot like this. Okay. Just because of the view? If so, you're missing out on some of the best games ever made. For, in my opinion, a silly reason, but it's your reason, I guess. Yeah, come back here. Shield bash. yeah, really just the view? Damn. Yeah, you're missing out, man. Yeah. Diablo-esque ARPGs, or all ARPGs have a lot of the same overflow. But this game, it's been really fun. And it's got a good challenge curve to it as well. It doesn't feel super grindy. There is a bit of a grind, but it's an RPG. It would feel weird if there was none. Yeah. So for those who don't know, in Titan Quest, the game works on like a multi-class system. At level 2, you get to choose your first one. I chose Earth Mastery, which, don't let the name fool you, it's not like earthbending and shit. It's actually more so fire. It's fire magic, essentially. And it's got a whole skill tree. You put skill points into actually increasing your mastery level so you can hit like higher scores. You also have to spend skill points on the actual abilities within the tree. I'm hyper specializing on one side, as you can tell. Mostly just the buffs, less so the active like spell attacks. I'm not playing a mage. I'm playing more of a warrior that just needs the damage buffs. The other tree I picked was defense because I'm going for a bit of a tanky build. This tree, as the name suggests, it's written on the tin, it's all about making you really hard to kill, making you really tough, lowering the requirements and stat requirements for heavy armor and certain gear. So, that's a really cool system it has. And you can mix and mash the two skill tree systems, because you have, like, I want to say it's like 7? No, it's like 9. Like, there's a bunch of skill trees you can choose from. At level 1, you get to choose one of all of them. And then at level 8, you get to choose another of the 2 skill trees. And then you can, as you level up, continue to buff up your skills. $11. Was it 11? I thought it was 4 and 4 on both sides, and then you had Spirit at the bottom. Was it 5 and 5? I don't know. Let me try to recall. There was Earth, Storm, Rogue, Defense, War Master, War something, Spirit, the Nature one. I'm forgetting the remainder. Well, anyway. So yes, I've started playing this. It's been a lot of fun, and apparently there's a sequel coming out somewhat. I can't say soon. I don't know the exact date, but it's coming out. I know it's been showcased on YouTube here and there, which is interesting because this game, graphically speaking, does anyone want to take a guess? I mean, some of you know, but does anyone who doesn't know want to take a guess when this game came out? Hunt and Dream. Ah, okay. That's right, Hunter the Archer. Right. And then Dream is like the mind fuckery shit. Crowd control, I think, was its specialty. Is Sweet Baby involved with the sequel? I do not know. I do not believe so. I feel like I would have seen that when I was looking into it. Because it's one of the first things people bring up now, right? Is like, okay, is Sweet Baby involved in this project? Is Sweet Baby involved in this project? I didn't see it put on the list, the Steam list, for Sweet Baby involved projects. So, if it is, we don't know it is yet. And hopefully it isn't. Hopefully it stays off of it. Because this game has been needing, well, not needing, but wanting a sequel for a long time for people playing it. I've only just recently found out about it, so I have the benefit of not having to wait as long for a sequel, but for people like Karn who've been playing this since they were little kids, I can imagine the news of the sequel was like a hype moment, right? Storm, Earth, Warfare, Spirit, Defense, Nature, Hunting, Rogue, Dream, Runes. Runes! That's one I forgot. And the new Chinese one. There's a Chinese one? I do not know the Chinese one. Okay. Yeah, in this game you get to combo any 2 of the class trees, and they make a lot of cool combinations. And what's funny is the game actually has a name for each combination you choose. Like, for example, my character is called a Juggernaut. That's the title you get if you combine Earth and Juggernaut. Sorry, Earth and Defense. You get Juggernaut as a title. If you choose, I know in another character I have Storm and Earth chosen because Storm is lightning and shit, and Earth is fire. So fire and Storm. Storm, Earth, and Fire. Heed my call. You know. I like to pretend enemies I fight in games now is Destiny. The streamer or the video game Destiny? Because I know both are in hot water right now. The streamer, for rightfully so, because he's a fucking soulless prick. But for the video game, just clarifying, because these days I have to. Actually, isn't there another streamer called Destiny FOMO? Right? Or am I thinking of the wrong thing? Why are so many people called Destiny? Actually, now that I think about it, there's another channel I used to watch, like, way back when, that was Destiny, but it wasn't Destiny as in the big streamer, the lefty dude. It was Destiny, and the guy, like, covered, like, drama and stuff. Again, not talking about douchebag, like a younger guy. But then he, like, disappeared. I can't remember why. Lady Runesong, how are you, my wonderful lass? I hope you're having a wonderful Saturday. How dare YouTube show me an ad with Tao as with Tao? Wait, was there a 40k ad on my stream? If so, oh, that's hilarious. Fitting, but hilarious. Oh, hardy loop. What's this? It's a green. By the way, fun fact. There's gray items. Yeah, everyone knows what that is. Common items. Weirdly enough, these gold items are not like legendary or like super. Like these are the what I've found from playing is gold or yellow highlighted items are just uncommon, which is weird because I'm used to like the yellow like implying like a legendary or like super special item. But as I've gone along, it's not that. It's in this game it's weird. Because green I associate with uncommon items in other RPGs, but here green is actually like rare. Yeah, some mobile game. Ugh, 40k mobile game. Fuck off. My vids often get Warhammer ads. I mean, that fits. That's where they belong, right? Like a 40k channel getting Warhammer ads fits. I just haven't watched ads on YouTube in years. For reasons I can't say because YouTube now has banned it. But I haven't watched ads on YouTube in years, so I kind of forget that GW does ads, I guess. Like proper ads, and not just like what they show on their YouTube channel. Speaking of YouTube, please tell me if anyone has a similar story. There was a live stream with a bottomless woman in my recommendation. Why is porn allowed and I'm not allowed to say the F slur? Well, it's usually a technical. I don't know exactly what you're talking about, but this is like my understanding of the YouTube system. Just like with Twitch, it makes a lot of exceptions based in really, really specific loopholes for borderline porn. Twitch is able to get away with it because as long as the person in question doesn't show straight up nudity, they can get away with anything just short of that. So, and you could say like, oh, well, they're bottomless. Yeah, but can you see the vagine? Can you see the balls? Can you see the titties? And the thing is, when I say titties, I mean the tips of the titties. Can you see the nipples? If not, then YouTube, Twitch, Kick, all of it turns a blind eye. If it's a woman. If it's a guy, like if I were to take my shirt off right now, YouTube wouldn't care, I don't think. But Twitch would actually ban you for that. It was hair. Oh, God. I didn't need that detail. Thank you. Unless by hairy you mean she was wearing, like, I don't know, like a joke undergarments, but I don't get the... I get the impression that's not what you meant. YouTube guidelines these days are wacky. That's an understatement. All I have to say to that woman is, trim the bush. You don't need to get a Brazilian, but... trim the bush. And it's 6K. That doesn't surprise me, actually. What? Woman shows bottom? And it has 6,000 viewers? You don't say. I wonder why. Welcome to the internet, where horny is the default state of everyone on here. I don't get it. I don't. Well, I do, like, don't get me wrong. I'm a guy. I'm straight. I get, like, you see like a thumbnail of a scantily clad woman, your monkey brain is like, I want to click. I want to see sexy woman. But you do have the intelligent side of your brain that is like, A, if I do see it, I don't get to do anything with it. I can just see it. That's lame. If I wanted to do that, I could go to a strip club. And I don't like spending money on stuff like that, so I don't even go to a strip club. Why the fuck would I go to a streamer and watch it? Like B, there's no, like, emotional attachment to the person in question. It's just the smexy. Just the smexy magnetizes you in. But then what? Like, granted, some people have an answer to the then what, But if that's the thing you're out to do, you know you can get more on the hub, right? You like, I don't know if it's still a thing, but there was a website called like X Hamster, right? There's options to get like the full shebang, the full package, if that's what you're after on the internet. Why would you go to a streamer that's like holding back, right? And worse, donate to them. Like, is the tantalization really that hot? Really? I don't know. I feel like people need to like turn off the computer, go to a club, go to a bar. Probably not a bar is a good place, but it's better than YouTube or Twitch. Go to a real place. Find a gal. Don't be creepy. Just say, hey, you know, I noticed you're from across the room. You look really charming. You look really nice. And I hope I'm not imposing with you. If I am, I apologize. I'll buy you a drink, or I'll buy you a snack or whatever. And, you know, I like to just get to know you. You look nice. You know, just turn on some basic charm. You don't need to, like, do, like, the dramatic hair whip and, like, walk over and, like, golden glow has to come off of you. No. Like, walk up, be gentlemanly, crack a joke. Throw a cheesy line out there. If you think you have no shot and you just want to entertain yourself for like 20 minutes, go over and say like a creepy pickup line. When I say creepy, I don't mean like creepy, like you smell nice. I'm talking like, hey baby. I can't do it. I can't do it. No, that pickup line's stupid. Would you like to slap the whale and ride the wave? Again, there's better options than lurking into a streamer's chat and being like, you look so pretty. Oh my god. Can you turn slightly to the left? Like, that's a whole new level of... Well, I guess it's not a whole new level, but that's a whole level of degenerate. Kick is pretty lax. I mean, two of their top stars are the Island Boys. Are the Island Boys those freaks with, like, the dread stuff? Like, those two really weird dudes that have done, like, everything they can to get clout. I think, like they're brothers, right? And didn't they, like, try and, like, kiss on like, a video or something? The internet's degenerate, man. Like, there are days, most days, where I just think to myself, this was all a mistake. We opened Pandora's box. We went too far. Hello, mate. What have I missed? Not much. I've just been introducing the game I'm playing, and talking degenerate streamers and douchebags. And then apparently a hairy bush. I'm not giving context on that last one. Do-do-do-do-do. Come to Papa. There we go. Activate shield. That way I can mop up faster. Come here, you filthy spider people. Bring this up. I mean, no, it was funny. I know, naked yoga has been a thing on YouTube forever, and YouTube is never going to do anything about it. I mean, why would you? It brings in views to advertisers, which don't even ask me why advertisers are okay with putting their ads on that shit, but not on a gaming video where a guy just screams swears. Do not understand. Feel like you need context now, though? I'm not sure you want it. Unless you're into that sort of thing. I don't know. Lidney, do you like a hairy bush? No, I will not give context. Just say yes or no. Actually, I'm gonna ask every new person who joins the stream today, do they like a hairy bush? I'm just gonna torture everybody who slips in here. You must suffer because I have suffered. So can you call the cops on people on the internet? That's an escalation. What? if you know where to send the cops, I mean, it depends on what they did. Like if what they did is what like you're referencing, unless you're referencing something new now. I don't think that's cop worthy of a call. That's just chastise like worthy of a call. Well, not even a call, but like tweet about it and be like, hey, this person's a freak. Felizago, welcome to stream. A Harris bush. I don't know if you intended to say that on purpose, but I feel like that's just as accurate. It's a garden woman, let it grow. What? Hi, random nobody. Welcome to stream. God, we're starting off great. Starting off great. Talking about heady beaches, YouTube algorithms, douchebag streamers, island boys, which kind of fall into that previous category. We're doing great. Depends on how thick the thicket is. I don't know. Undead, you're the one who saw it. How thick was? Don't answer that. Don't answer that. Let's move on. Fuck. Okay. But yeah, now that we got a bit more people in here. So recently I played Stormgate. I keep wanting to call it Stormcast for some reason. Like Warhammer brained as always, I guess, but it just every time like I have to keep looking back at the name of the game to remind myself what the name is. But Stormgate, for those who don't know, is an RTS that has been in development by devs who left Blizzard, who worked on StarCraft 2. And there's been a little bit of hype behind it. There was a trailer, I think, like a year or two ago. And I've been looking forward to it, because I'm a huge fan of StarCraft. I really love StarCraft 1. I really love Brood War. I love StarCraft 2. Despite some of the story beats I really didn't like in Heart of the Swarm and Legacy of the Void. Legacy of the Void's ending was god-awful. But despite that, I still love that game. I still love playing it, and I always jump back into it from time to time. And I replay the campaign like every 2 years, even though I don't like how it ends, and even though I don't like all the story beats in Heart of the Swarm, they're still really fun to play. Like, they're really good games, and some of the story beats I still love. Certainly, it's still better than a lot of stories we're getting nowadays. Take your hat off and go down there and floss your teeth. What? That's an image. Fuck. Ugh. I've seen some fucked up shit on DeviantArt. I don't need to know. And Elvis the Alien People Ruin Everything series. I want some justice. I feel like I'm missing context. Elvis the Aliens? Why are you bringing up Elvis? You not afraid of blue suede shoes? That's a good song. Elvis? What does Elvis have to do with aliens? Actually, I've always had that question, because that was in the Independence Day. Like there was like when they were like showing signs to like the alien ships. One of them was something about bring Elvis home. Like, what? I have no idea what that's about. Like, what is the association between Elvis and aliens? But, yeah, Stormgate came out, and, well, it's not out. It's in early access, I should say. And I decided to pick it up. I picked up I was really confident in, like, some of the earlier stuff I saw and the pitch of the game that I saw. So I picked up the Ultimate Edition, which was $60. And I played it for an hour and a half and immediately knew I got sold something I had already bought. StarCraft 2. I played it again for only an hour and a half, and I just tried out the factions. I didn't even bother with the campaign, because my plan was I was gonna play like each of the factions in like a custom skirmish mode against an AI bot just to see how they function, and then I was gonna jump into the campaign armed with a little bit more knowledge than none. But what I played in the multiplayer left me so apathetic to Stormgate. I left just thinking, no. I don't even want to bother. I don't even want to bother the story. I don't care about the story. It was just such a disappointment. And I'm actually, just to really give you a concise version of my thoughts, I'm going to read the review I left on Steam. So this is and I also got the refund for the game as well, because no way in hell I'm supporting what I saw. So this is like my direct thoughts on the game via my review. I said, the game is a really shallow copy and paste job of StarCraft 2. I wish that was hyperbole, but to be entirely honest, I feel that's just the plain and honest truth. Each faction is just a near exact copy of their StarCraft counterparts. Vanguard are just StarCraft 2 Terrans with less diverse, not cringe DEI diverse, but diverse unit selections, which applies to all the other factions, to be fair. The worker units have the same voice lines as the SCVs from StarCraft 2, and I mean the same. Like, you click on them and you click the button, they have all the same, like, base lines as SCVs. It's just in a dead robot voice. And they feel completely out of place because of it. All of the other units can be traced back to an equivalent they've been reskinned from. Exos are just Marines, Vulcans are just Thors, etc. The Infernals are just the Zerg from StarCraft 2 with a reskin. So much so, they have a creep mechanic, renamed to something else, but functions the same, and their units sacrifice themselves to build structures. The demons are all really lame and toned down from what they could have been, both aesthetically and gameplay-wise. Additionally, they have all the same problems as Vanguard with poor unit diversity. And then there's the Celestials, which are just reskinned Protoss from StarCraft 2. They have pylon equivalents, which will be just as annoying which would be just as annoying as the original article. A limit of structure building outside of the range of the said pylons, and units that are very clearly reskinned zealots, etc., etc. Honestly, the worst part of the shameless copy and paste job of the factions isn't just the blatantness of it, it's the uncompelling sanitized aesthetic they all have, which is... I could rant about that for like 30 minutes, but I'll keep it concise. It took the already toned down, gringy vibes all the StarCraft 2 factions had, which were even toned down from StarCraft 1 and Brood War, what factions had from the first game, and ran them through an Overwatch filter, drowned it in bleach, and powdered it in DEI cringe, which, by the way, there's a lot of DEI on display. Like a bunch of different units that have some different accents, and it's very clear they're trying to go for a diverse angle with like skin color and stuff. And the villain in this campaign apparently is the only white guy. Like it's very clear that if Sweet Baby didn't touch this, Sweet Baby inspired this, narratively and aesthetically. On paper, everything in summary sounds super cool and compelling. An RTS where three factions vie for dominance. The human vanguard, whose tenacity and adaptability carry them into the fight. The infernal host, literal demons from the pits of hell coming to cull all life and dominate in hellish, bloody fashion. And the celestial armada, an alien race of angels coming to purge the infernal host and all those they may corrupt. Yet, in execution, it's all so lackluster and apathetic. It's like Frost Giant Studios forgot they were free from Activision Blizzard and weren't beholden to the limits of their established franchises, neither from a gameplay standpoint nor an aesthetic one. I'm sure there are plenty of RTS-hungry madmen out there that will play and love this game regardless of all of this, given this vein of RTS hasn't been revived in over a decade. But I'm not so starved as to have forgotten what my last meal was, and I can't say my last meal, with all the flavor, seasoning, and presentation ripped out of it, is a compelling dish I'll waste my time on. Seriously, just play StarCraft 2, it's free, and you get the same exact experience with at least a bit more soul in it. And that's the Steam review I left. So, it's a bit scathing, not gonna lie. But I try to keep it as civil as possible. And yes, Stormgate was... oh boy, it was a huge disappointment. Like, the the blatantness of the theft isn't my biggest problem. You know, I was hoping for a StarCraft 2 clone, effectively. But when I say clone, I don't mean it's just StarCraft 2 reskinned. And that's what it was. Like, that's what Stormgate is at current. Its very minute alterations to the mechanics aren't enough to really distinguish it from StarCraft 2. Not enough to make you play it over StarCraft 2. There is nothing Stormgate offers that is really original or new. It's It's just a shameless copy and paste. And when it's and again, its aesthetic is super Overwatch. Like it's super rounded, cartoony, and like even the demons. The demons are supposed to be intimidating monsters from the pits of hell, right? They don't look it. They don't. Like they're trying to give them a gruesome look, but they're also trying to tone it back and make it basically kid friendly. And it's just, it falls completely short. Like, they could have gone for a grungy, gringy, dark aesthetic, and they chose not to. They chose to go for the same aesthetic as the rest of Blizzard's stuff, and it was super disappointing. So, what's funny is after playing it, I was super apathetic and downtrodden, because I'm like, this is embarrassing. Like, this is a sham of what should have been on display. So, I ended up booting up StarCraft 2 that night and playing a couple co-op rounds with randos. And had more fun doing that, because it felt way better than playing what was StarCraft 2, but with all the love seeped out of it. It was just terrible. So, yeah, that was my experience with Stormgate. And the thing is, like, people are going to make the argument, oh, it's an early access, it'll be fine, it's an early access, you're being too harsh. But the issues I have with it aren't addressable post-early access. Like, it's from the ground up design, it's a complete failure. It's a non sequitur. It's a non-starter, I should say. Like, when your graphics look like a cheap Overwatch RTS, you've already lost me. Like, graphically it sucks. Again, the DEI stuff is incredibly obvious and present, which is annoying. The narrative doesn't seem really compelling, and what doesn't help is, again, in combination with the aesthetic, the narrative is just dead on arrival. It's super disappointing. So, I was hoping for a spiritual successor to StarCraft 2. I wasn't expecting a clone of StarCraft 2 in the most literal sense. I love shield bashing these little shits, 'cause bang! Send the little gobbo flying. Yeah, I know they're not goblins, but I'm calling them goblins. It's more funny. So, that's like my Stormgate little rant I wanted to have today. But in relation to that, shortly after I tried Stormgate and played it, on my recommendations, I noticed a video by Nerdslayer Studios. Now, before I continue, who here knows Nerdslayer Studios? Since we don't live in the UK, are we allowed to recreate everything in Gmod? That seems incredibly random. Oh, what? Like, why is it they're not allowed to do stuff in the UK with Gmod? And I guess the answer is yes, but, like, again, what? Nope.
Your inventory is full. You can't carry any more.
God damn it. Hey, Singsar, by the way, welcome to stream. How you doing? Hope you're doing fantastic. I'm joking about the riots. Riots? Is there riots in the UK right now? What the fuck for? Immediately, this is cartoonish. Far-right riots. Okay, yeah, I believe that. Flare in Sunderland amid ongoing UK anti-immigration protests. Riots erupt in another UK city over knife attack as police brace for weekend turmoil. Okay. That's a lot of fire. Okay. Hey Nico, yo Asmo, me and Pink watching you play. By the way, did you see the new Titan Quest 2 trailer? If there's a new one, no. I did see the announcement trailer of it, but if there's a new one, no. Well, don't you see, Undead? It's okay when they do it. When we do it, it's evil and wrong and racist. Gotta love the modern day. Oh, great. Portal back so I can sell my shit. So, well, I don't know enough about the riots to talk about that. I might look into that while we're here on stream. But, actually, while I'm in town, let me switch views here. Okay. I could not. I was being edgy. Ah, okay. Anyway, I'm out. Alright, see you later, Undead Nerd. Okay. So, let me not silence the game, but... There. Well, I guess I will silence it for now. So, what I found when I was, in my recommendeds was this video from Nerd Slayer Studios. They released it 5 days ago now, and I saw it like when it was just freshly uploaded. But Death of a Game, StarCraft 2. So off the heels of trying Stormgate out, that felt a little interesting, and it's obvious why it was in my recommendeds right at that point. But I watched this video with an open mind, but in my initial reaction for sure was, wait, StarCraft 2 dead? I mean, don't get me wrong, it's definitely declined for sure. The decline of StarCraft 2 is a completely fair title. The drop off of StarCraft 2 is a perfectly fair title. Anything like that, but dead is a very strong connotation. Now, in this video, he said it was an obfuscation, but to be honest, it was an obfuscation. That's just kind of dishonest. But he said, oh, I'm not obfuscating. Like, death has a broad definition in this regard. It's like, well, technically, yes, but in all connotations of dead, it implies it's over. No recovery, no support, nothing. Like, it's very strong connotation. So, when he made this video, I listened to his points, and he makes a lot of comments that he can't back up. I'm borderline willing to call it a lie, because it's right on the crisp. It's right on the crisp of being a lie. Because he makes statements like, oh, Age of Empires 2 has a bigger player base than StarCraft 2. There's no way for him to prove that. There's absolutely, like, you can find the Age of Empires 2 numbers very easily. It's on Steam. You can go to Steam Aggregate. You can definitely gauge the popularity of that game like that. But Blizzard games notoriously have no live player counts, no live subscriber counts, nothing for the public to see in which to derive the information that he's making judgment calls on. He's saying, oh, Age of Empires 2 has a healthier player base. StarCraft 1 has a healthier player base than StarCraft 2. For that second one, I just don't believe. Like, don't get me wrong, StarCraft 1 is an amazing game. You should absolutely play it. But for it to have a more active player base than StarCraft 2, no, I don't believe that. And if he presented evidence as to, like, where did he get the numbers, then I'd concede, but he doesn't do that in his video. So the whole video is pretty rough, not gonna lie. He makes some fair points, like the esports stuff. That's fair to point out. Like, esports for StarCraft has definitely fallen off. But again, it's even that, in that regard, it's not dead. It's point is, the video has a lot of issues with it, and part of it, partway through, he advertises Stormgate, which I think is why I got it in my recommendeds, because I played it, and it feels even weirder. Like, I'm not going to be so strong as to throw out accusations here, but it feels very, very strange for him to make a death of a game on StarCraft 2, invent and borderline lie about numbers that he can't possibly have. He also, this part was a straight up lie. He said the game hadn't been updated in a long ass time, but StarCraft 2 had its 5.0.13 patch in March of this year. So to say, oh, it hasn't had an update in a year and a half or over a year, that's a lie. Hey, Ambergillist, I saw your review of Stormgate. I just went over it on stream, and yeah, those are my genuine thoughts on it. Yeah, I don't know if you've been playing it at all, man, but that's what I walked away from. It was such a Stormgate was such a shallow disappointment, and a really transparent copy and paste job. The minute differences that they made in the game just don't feel significant enough to give the game a whole different flow or to give it its own unique identity. You got free access from streamers. All right, what did you think? If you disagree with me, feel free to let me know, and I'd be happy to talk to you about it. But yeah, but my thoughts were it was super shallow copy and paste job. It just nothing about it. Like a couple things like when they were I initially saw them in Stormgate, I was like, I can't disagree with you. Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you agree, but yeah, it was, yeah. Like all I thought after playing the first two factions was, yeah, this is the Zerg, this is the Vanguard, this is the Terrans. We also found StarCraft 2 player numbers and quick Google search with NerdSlayer apparently didn't do. True. And I pulled those back up today, and I'm going to bring that up. And I will denote this. This is from a website called activeplayer.io. And it shows StarCraft 2 is having 17,000 active players just within the last hour. And active players over the last 30 days, 373,478. Now, that sounds real. That sounds accurate. But I've looked through this website's, like, article stuff. They don't denote where they're getting their numbers. So we have no idea why or how activeplayer.io is calculating the player count number for StarCraft 2. So to be fair, what we found the other day, Karn, isn't backable. It's just, the website is just saying that these are the numbers, but at best it's an educated guess, and at worst it's just a straight up, they're just throwing something out there so people click on their website. They're getting the numbers from world chats? Well, I looked at the world chat, the in-game chat on the server I was on yesterday, and it listed only 178 people. In activeplayer.io, it was like, oh, there's 17,000 people playing in the last hour. It's like, so I don't know if that's actually the case. Now, granted, I don't know if the number I saw in the chat was just that my local server, or my region server, or if that was like the player total population. It was the all chat, so I don't know. But if they are getting their number from that, I don't see it. I didn't see it listed on their website where they were getting their number. But let's assume that. So let's assume this number is accurate. 17,000, and yesterday it was 21,000 people playing actively StarCraft 2. I looked up the Age of Empires 2 numbers, and they're accurate. They're equivalents. Because Age of Empires 2 on Steam charts alone is 17,000 active players per day. And a all-time peak of, I want to say 38,000 or 39,000 it was. So, if these numbers are to be believed, which is more than what NerdSlayer gave in his video, then by no means is StarCraft 2 dead, even by his own metric. Because he was saying, one of his points was, StarCraft 2, compared to Age of Empires 2, Age of Empires 2 is doing way better. It's like, yeah, but you didn't show the numbers, so how do you know that? But even if you do that, their numbers are actually quite close, if this activeplayer.io is to be trusted. If this is the case, its player base is almost on par with Age of Empires 2. So to claim, it's not living up to it, therefore it's a dead game, that's just ridiculous. But even if we didn't have these numbers, or even if he did show a lower number than Age of Empires 2, how does that show a game is dead? Numbers aside, whether they're equivalents or close to or not, how does that show a game is dead? It doesn't. Is the big thing. Claiming, this, most of the time I use Steam charts. That's what I use, but StarCraft 2 isn't on Steam, so I can't check it for StarCraft 2, but I can check it for Age of Empires. And yeah, but yeah, like saying, oh, it doesn't get the same numbers as this other game, therefore dead. It's like, that's not how it works. By that logic, there's a shit, like every game that isn't Age of Empires 2 would be dead by that by that way of measurement. It's like, oh, any RTS that has a little bit lower than Age of Empires 2, dead. It's a dead game. That's ridiculous. Like, there's tons of RTSs. Even Warcraft Reforged, as much as I hate that fucking game, even that isn't dead just because it has lower numbers than Age of Empires 2. And I wouldn't even describe it as a dead game. It's dead to me, for sure. It's dead to a lot of, like, old schools. But, what time is 7 help? Oh, yeah, I was about to get to that. Because, oh boy, is it like Nerdslayer goes full lolcow in his own comment section. But I just wanted to, like, confront some of his points that are provably wrong. And the big ones being the update comment. Like, he says, oh, it hasn't been updated in a year and a half. It got an update in March. That's not... Who? Nerdslayer Studios is the guy who does a series called Death of a Game. And I haven't watched him in a long time. The last one I watched was the Reforged one, which I thought was a good video. But holy crap, his StarCraft 2 video is so bad. So we've confronted the falsehoods he stated in his video. Whether they were lies, I don't know. Maybe he just jumped the gun and didn't do his proper research. I don't know. That's debatable. Certainly for the player count thing. For the patch thing, that's a Google search. Like, when was the last time StarCraft 2 was updated? March 2024. That's months ago. Not a year and a half, not 2 years, not multiple years. A couple months ago. Not that long ago. So that was just completely incorrect. And then the active player count. He didn't provide the player count numbers for StarCraft 2. He just showed the Age of Empires 2 player count. You can't point to that and say, see, it has better numbers when you don't show the numbers for StarCraft 2. It's like, okay. So his video is still majorly liked, by the way. And keep in mind, like, I disagree with him. Like, I consider, not providing the correct information borderline lies, if not straight up lies. Certainly the update one, I consider that a lie. Like, when you say, oh, it's been a year and a half, but it takes a Google search to find, no, it's been a couple months, that's just comedic. That's just comedically wrong. So, yeah. But the active player thing, I can understand not showing the activeplayer.io one, because, again, I'm not sure about the accuracy of this site. But it's the only source I could find for the player count, and it certainly doesn't show an unhealthy player base. So, Death of a Game, Nerdslayer makes this video. And my initial reaction to the video is, I don't agree. I think you're being a little dishonest or not really looking at the information objectively. Actually, in parts, you're not even looking at information. It really just came off as he was looking for any reason to say the game was dead. It was not a great video, but not everyone makes, like, bangers in every video, right? Like, sometimes you make a lazy video, you didn't write it out carefully, you didn't do your proper research, and you just put it up thinking you're feeling confident that your anecdotal experience was more than enough to go off of. I've done that before. Every YouTuber's done that. It's not new. It's not anything that I haven't seen before. And I was willing to work past it, but what uniquely makes me want to talk about this video, outside of just, like, what I consider a bad take, for sure, is his response to the backlash. Now, again, keep in mind, like to dislike ratio-wise and viewership-wise, this is doing way and above most of his other Death of a Games. Like, Titanfall 2, 1, and 2, that's 77k, this has 131k. And some of his other more recent ones, I noticed, had, like, 31,000 views, 41,000 views, etc. Like, not a lot of these don't breach 100k views. So, this video is doing very good for him, and the like to dislike ratio isn't against him entirely. Like, that looks like it's like an 80% ratio, and on my own videos, I could tell you this: if you get 80% of your viewership liking the video, that's good. That's a really good metric. So by all accounts, he had a W with this video, even though, again, it has some blatant falsehoods. It comes up completely short. Even though it has those problems, it was still a good video. And I would say editing-wise, it was a very good video. I liked listening to him talk. It was an okay video from that regard. It just wasn't accurate. And again, huge views, huge likes. Now, normally the YouTuber thing to do is, okay, leave a pinned comment with, like, linking to your sponsorship or ad, and then fuck off. You might like a couple comments, but you leave. You move on, especially when people in the comments aren't happy with you. Like, why confront it when there's nothing to be gained? So, you leave. Well, Nerdslayer didn't do that. I'm about to show you the pinned comment, which I saw what the pinned comment was before it was this, and it was a lot shorter, and it was basically just showing off Stormgate, and then it was just like a little blurb. This is what he edited it to be. Now, I know my stream view here is blurred, so I'll have to read it. I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's... Well, actually, no. To be fair, I'll read the whole thing, so, hit what he wanted to say to his own audience is said to you guys watching me. Nerdslayer says, reminder for the YouTube comment warriors not brave enough to argue on voice or text direct at discord.gg/nerdslayer or twitter/nerdslayer. Now, immediately, I do want to point this out. You've hit full lolcow when you say, come at me, bro, and you link your Discord, mind you, where you have all the moderation power. You can mute people at will. You can ban them at will. Like, the moment someone says something that you don't like, you can silence and ban them. And again, everyone there is presumably biased on it, so if you get dragged to a public chat where you get ganged up on, yeah, it's not a good look. Like, it's not a good look, dude. And as for the Twitter part, at least that's a little bit better because it's not his platform. He can block you, he can mute you, but he can't, silence you. He can't prevent you from having the back and forth conversation. So, but it is a huge bad look when you're like, you don't agree with me? Well, come at me. Come at me, man. Like, is that any better than Wings of Redemption? Like, grabbing his fucking controller and slamming it down? Say, I can't take this shit no more, man. You don't look any better. Like, you look like a lolcow. Like, it's complete clown mode. Complete clown mode. So he continues, if you want to respond to these points, I will gladly accept in voice chat or on Discord, private or public chat. Nowhere else, because communication is not meant for this platform. Well, the comment section would disagree with you. Like, the whole point of the comment section is communication. Nor people brigading posts without actually making arguments and feeling they won some sort of moral victory. And we'll get to that, by the way, because quite a few people in his comment section do make points against him, and he either responds really badly, and the sad thing is I think he thinks he responded well, or people bring up points he can't argue with at all, and he just leaves the back and forth because he lost. And it looks really bad. Like, I don't know if he's deleted some of the comments since I last checked, but I've screenshotted a couple of them if he has. So we'll get to that. So his claim that people aren't bringing up arguments or aren't addressing what he said, that's just him lying in his own pinned comment. He's trying to play it off as people are just, being fanboys and are brigading him and they're not addressing any of his actual points. They're all just crybabies. When in truth, that's just not the case. So nowhere else, because communication is not meant for this platform, nor people brigading posts without actually making arguments, and feeling they won some sort of moral victory. Did you know I don't get notifications? I want to point this out. That makes it worse, by the way, my guy. Like, saying, I don't get notifications, I don't know when you guys are commenting, ha 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 ha. My guy, the fact that you've responded to each and every one of these comments calling you out, that means that's worse, because if you had notifications turned on, it's like, oh, how did he know about this comment? Why did he look for this comment? It's like, oh, he got notification about it. If your notifications are turned off and you're still responding to this many people, that means you're manually going to the fucking comment section. You're looking for these comments and you're responding to them on your own, unprompted, which means you're sitting there for hours on end debate broing people in your comment section. That makes you look worse. That makes you look so much worse. It makes you look like a bitch pansy. Because you're just sitting there refreshing the page, trying to debate bro people. It would be better if you were just getting a bunch of notifications and responding to them, because like, oh, well, you're getting prompted, you're getting dragged back into it. This looks worse. But especially on post replies to replies. I literally can't see them unless I click the chain down and look. Now, I know you can collect that moral victory when you don't join the Discord to debate me. Again, this is just cartoonish. to debate me about things you are supposedly so emotionally charged. That's the thing. He's projecting really hard because he's like, "Oh, you're so emotionally charged." It's like you're the one, by your own admission, without notifications, going to your own comment section and clicking refresh, responding to everyone leaving a comment in your fucking video. That makes you look so bad. So you can't accuse other people of being emotionally charged when you're the one who's very clearly, especially since you made this soliloquy, emotionally charged. Can't really pull that card at that point when it's very obvious where you are. So emotionally charged about you, can't make basic arguments about. I will be waiting. Smiley face. It doesn't have to be contentious either. Really? It doesn't have to be contentious, guys. Come at me, man! But it does have to be contentious. Okay. Here's some rapid-fire facts you can chew on and choose to be emotional about if you want. Again, dude, the projection is hard. It doesn't dispute the point. Age of Empires 2 on just Steam alone has more players than StarCraft 2. How do you know that? Where are your numbers? Show me where your StarCraft 2 numbers are. Because if I look at my StarCraft 2 numbers, which, again, this, I'll admit, is not a necessarily reliable source, but it doesn't look like there is any. Like, you only know definitively if you're getting it from Blizzard. But ActivePlayer.io has the number listed in the last hour alone, 17,000 people playing. If I go to Age of Empires 2, Age of Empires 2 players, go to Steam charts. Let me zoom in on that one for you guys. 22,000. Now that is bigger than the .io number, as listed here, 17,000. But not by a massive number. All-time peak, 38,000. 22,000 currently playing as of 26 minutes ago in the 24-hour peak. That's good numbers. But 17K to 22K, that's not like a major insano divide. So bet he'll delete the video within 24 hours. It's been more than 24 hours. The video's 5 days old. Asmogan, upvote his video. You get it all wrong. What? What'd I get wrong? Oh, are you being sarcastic? Are you being sarcastic? It's like, come on, Asmo, you got it all wrong. Upvote the video. Age of Empires 2 on just Steam alone has more plays than StarCraft 2. Well, StarCraft 2 isn't on Steam, so you can't get the Steam numbers for it. And there's no definitively reliable source for the StarCraft 2 numbers, and the closest I've found is ActivePlayer.io, which says 17K. So their numbers aren't that different. They're actually quite close. In the last 30 days, the all-time peak was 373,478 players active. All-time peak for Age of Empires 2 is 38,000. So, again, I don't consider this website reliable, but this is the source I have, and it's telling me that by comparison to the game you're citing, it's actually doing significantly better in the long run, and just recently it's on par, or just about on par with the same numbers. So that's just the lie. Unless you can present to me evidence, which, by the way, a comment basically said the same thing I just said, and his response to that person. Actually, let me see if I can find it. Let's see here. Dude, no say mind the comments. Check. Oh, it's about time. You want Soccer 2 is giving me those stars. Okay, here it is. So I saw this comment here. So this person says, what source did you use to determine the current StarCraft 2 player count? AoE having more players than StarCraft 2 sounds wrong, to be honest. And keep in mind, that comment is not very heated. He's asking a genuine question. Nerdslayer's response? I have data for AoE. That means the onus is on you to prove data for StarCraft 2. Don't worry, I'll wait. Smiley face. He's not the one who made a video claiming the game is dead, and then one of his points being, this other game has bigger number. When you have no proof, evidence, or anything else of that number. He made the video to make something happen, a new content update, or developers interested in creating a game like it to get people hyped for a new game. Where are you getting that, dude? I didn't know. That is, especially if you go based on his comments, no. Like StarCraft 2 and just wants to get people talking about it. He also wants people to playing it on his Discord. Where are you getting that? That is not at all what's the message, especially if you go to his comments and how he's reacting to people. He said that based on his Discord. Well, he's not responding like that's the trigger at all. And again, he advertises Stormgate in the video after claiming StarCraft 2 is dead. So I'm sorry, man. I think you're believing a bit. I think you're being fed a line and you're eating it. Don't eat it up, my guy. Like his response to people saying something as vanilla as this and this hostilely. Yeah, I think that's just a line he's feeding people and pretending. Probably after the fact. Nerdslayer Studios, well, I'm not the one... So wait, so earlier when you said Asmogan upload his video, you get it all right. Were you genuine like, dude, gotta upload the video? Like, ignore all of, like, this crazy shit and all, like, all his made-up bullshit and lies. Like, he said he meant something else. What? Don't be gullible, my guy. Don't be gullible. So this person that he responded to with that says, well, I'm not the one who made the video. It's your duty to provide evidence for your claim that StarCraft 2 has less players than AoE. Only knowing the AoE numbers is obviously not enough. His response, no, it's not. You literally cannot prove StarCraft 2 numbers. Neither can you. So you lied. You straight up lied. You're a liar. Because for you to claim AoE has bigger numbers, you need to have the StarCraft 2 numbers. You don't have them. So you lied. And now the thing is, the sad thing is, this comment clearly reads like he thinks he's, like he's got that real thinker cap on, right? He thinks this makes him sound smart. This couldn't make him sound more utterly retarded if he tried. So he admits to lying here, effectively. Not having data isn't a data point. What do you know? This could apply right to your own video. Nor an argument. What do you know? This could apply to your own fucking video. Sigh, this is embarrassing, mate. At least the other guy actually posted some links that showed the game was less played than AoE 3. What the fuck are you talking about? Well, if you can't prove it, why make the statement that StarCraft 2 has lower numbers than AoE? I just say you don't know, and that's all good. Again, this guy's being super nice in response to this fucking, like, nut job. He's losing his shit. And this is very indicative of all his fucking replies in the comment section. Like, this is wholesale bad. Like, the comment section is just full of stuff like this. It's really cartoonish. Like, just, again, every single like, lots of people say really vanilla shit, and he goes off. Like this guy. Rubs. Dead sure has an interesting definition nowadays. Nerdslayer's response? It has the same definition as it has had for the past, like, 1,000 years. What kind of low IQ statement is this? Actually make a position and relax on showing people you failed English 101. Nerdslayer. 1, no longer alive. 2, of a place or time characterized by a lack of activity or excitement. If the multiplayer servers are still running... Now keep in mind, again, that response to a very non-heatedly charged comment. Dead sure has an interesting definition nowadays. That's all the guy said. The guy didn't say anything more inflammatory. He didn't say, "Oh, dude, you're retarded. You don't know what you're talking about. This video is absolute trash," and then said that. No, he just said, "Dead sure has an interesting definition nowadays." It was a sarcastic comment, but it wasn't heated. It wasn't charged. It certainly doesn't deserve a response like this. And the thing that throws me off the most is Nerdslayer has been on YouTube for a long time. Like, for a really long time. This guy is a content creator who's been on the platform forever. And he's responding like a 1K sub Andy throwing up his first controversial video ever, and people just simply respectfully disagreeing and pointing out flaws in his arguments. He's responding like someone who's been on the internet for only a couple of days and isn't able to handle the beginner scrutiny. It's like, dude, you've been on YouTube. Forget YouTube. You've been on the internet forever. You've had to have made prior videos, right, where people didn't agree with you en masse and disliked your video and left a bunch of mean comments. You know how to handle this stuff. You're not a child. You're not new to this sphere. Rule number one is when people are disagreeing with you en masse in the comment section, the worst look is to not only go at them like hostilely, but to go at them hostilely with nothing, less than nothing. Again, the previous comment where he was putting the onus on the viewer to provide the evidence for what he made claims about based on the evidence he doesn't have. Like, that's, again, this comes off like a child. And a part of me is genuinely like, is this actually Nerdslayer, or is this like someone he hired to do PR for him? Like, does he have a PR team that runs the YouTube channel and responds to comments? Because that's the only explanation I could think of that makes sense with this hostility, with this absolutely out of touch responses. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, genuine mental breakdown. Totally. So that's the only response I could think of, is the guy's either going through a huge like stress in his daily life and he just snapped, or someone else is running the comments, because this just does not make sense. But if that was the case, then why is the pin? Oh shoot! Then why is the pin comment saying, "Hey, I'll debate you in Discord"? If that was somebody else, it's bad. Like, dude, this response is childish at the most generous I can entertainingly call it. So yeah, he's been responding to people super hostilely. I saw before someone made like a joke comment. Yeah, so someone made like this comment. This is the one I was thinking of, but this is one. One of my favorite YouTube channels has uploaded a new video. The owner of the channel is attacking people in the comments for giving counterpoints to his poorly sourced video. Video was clearly made as an ad for Stormgate. StarCraft 2 is very much not dead, no longer a favorite channel. His punch, which counterpoints, if you point them out, I will apologize publicly. The guy's response, the main counterpoint is that you don't provide any source for the player count for StarCraft 2. As a matter of fact, you said this in a comment below, I have data for AoE, that means the onus is on you to prove data for StarCraft 2. Don't worry, I'll wait. Doesn't this just prove that you have no clue about the game's population is dead? Plus, all the comments claiming they can find games in seconds. I really like your content, but this is kind of sad. Why are you attacking your community for putting out genuine issues? And Nerdslayer doesn't respond to it. After someone literally just put the slam dunk gauntlet down and said, dude, you don't have the numbers. You've proven again and again you don't have the numbers. So you're making claims based on numbers you don't have, which is a lie. And you'll see this a lot in the comment section. People will make genuinely strong points against Nerdslayer when he replies to them, and he won't reply to the replies that counter him. Like, he runs away from every confrontation in the comment section that is genuine. Like, again, this person wasn't that rude. Like, their initial comment was a little bit more charged, but their response was fairly respectful. They're asking genuine questions, providing genuine criticism, and Nerdslayer's response, run away. And as this person says, so where is your apology? This was 3 days ago. There ain't no apology. Like, this comment section is filled with this kind of vitriolic response to people giving very vanilla things. Like, very vanilla. Like, there are lots of people who say nothing burger statements. like the one I showed you earlier, where like dead sure is an interesting definition. That's nothing. That is hardly a charged comment. And he's responding psychotically. And then there's this person. I'm glad this wasn't deleted. So this one is the one that just made me like what the fuck? So this person says, this is the weirdest Stormgate ad I've ever seen, XD. It's a joke comment. Like, it's just, like, hey, this is the weirdest Stormgate ad I've ever seen. That's it. It's a little chuckle comment. His response? You just accused me of fraud. A commenter leaving a joke comment, and you're like, you just accused me of fraud. You were banned for being a complete integrityless idiot. 6 years of watching my content. Which, by the way, he does that in a lot of comments where he clicks on the profile of the person leaving a comment and denotes how long they've been subscribed to him, and he's doing that as a dunk on them. He's shaming them for being subscribed to him. Like, dude, do you not see how bad that is? You're like, this person was subscribed to you for 6 years. That is a loyal as hell subscriber. 6 years. I don't have very many commenters that have been subscribed that long. 6 years. That person is stuck with you through a lot of shit, and you're like, you're accusing them of calling you a fraudulent person, and just going off. That's not a dunk on them. That's a dunk on you, my guy. Like, 6 years of watching my content and you still don't know that such a claim is literally illegal. You just accused me of a crime for the lulz. Go pound sand. I think it's pathetic StarCraft 2 loser. Seriously. This is the fall from grace that is comedic and depressing. Like, that kind of response to a joke comment, like, it's all just comedy. So, yeah, Stormgate, as bad as it is, and then seeing this video, which is full of incorrect information and major flaws, and his response to his own community, being equivalent to a childish temper tantrum, it was so bad. Like, even if the video had been accurate, your response to Nothing Burger comments like that, who gives a shit about the video, my guy? Like, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? So yeah, I noted that, and I wanted to comment on it because that is so bad. So huge tip to anybody interested in starting a YouTube channel or any kind of social media where you intend to garner followers and create a platform for yourself. Rule number 1: don't debate bro. Well, actually, it's fine to debate bro commenters, but when people en masse, especially your own audience, and you can check that they've been subscribed for years, are disagreeing with you, and just that, they're not calling you names, they're not accusing you of anything, like, legitimately, they're just leaving Nothing Burger comments like that, and your reaction is to hostilely, like, accuse you of a crime, and all this other stuff, and they're just losing your shit. Maybe it's time for you to reflect on whether you should have a platform or not. Because if little stuff like that throws you off the fucking hook and completely makes you lose your mind, you do not belong on YouTube. You don't belong on Kick. You don't belong on Twitch. You don't belong on any platform because you are too sensitive. You're too mentally unhinged. You need to get off and touch grass. Like, seriously. This is just a terrible fucking look. But lucky for him, like, I don't think I'm the only one talking about his response to this video. Because as far as I've seen, no other YouTuber or channel is covering the fact that Nerdslayer lost his shit. And as it is, I'm not making a video on it. I'm just denoting it here because in relation to the Stormgate stuff, because I noticed it. And it's psycho. It's pure psycho shit. So I hope that it's not actually Nerdslayer in the comments doing all this. He's got some kind of PR rep that just went off the handle. I don't think that's the case. Very few YouTubers would feel safe, like, giving the control of their channel to a moderator of some kind. to the point that they're leaving comments on behalf of the channel. Yeah, this is actually genuinely Nerd Slayer, and I don't know what's going. Something must be happening in his personal life, and I'm not going to speculate. That's not my place. But something has to be happening in the background to lead to this, because the guy's been on YouTube for over a decade, I'm pretty sure, and you're reacting like this, like you're a 1K sub Andy. Especially when, again, look at the views. You're doing great viewership-wise. 131,000 views. That's well and above just this side example here of Titanfall, 77K. You're doing way better viewership-wise, so it means the ad revenue is coming in. Engagement-wise, the vast majority of people who watched the video liked it. So to respond this way with that in context just makes you look all the worse. So, yeah. Pro tip, don't pull an old Nerd Slayer when people disagree with you. It's fine to confront people in the comments and say, hey, no, that's not fair. Like, people, I've gotten a bunch of offhanded comments that were just straight up lying about me. Like, one person claimed I was a wholesale political channel because I covered the Trump shooting. Like, someone said, oh, all your content is political then. Like, you're not a 40K channel. It's like, no, I am. I make painting videos, painting streams. I talk about the lore. I absolutely am. And I've only made, like, 2 political, like, truly political videos ever. Every other video where I talk about politics is always related to 40K and keeping it out. So, people have lied about me in my own comment section, and I've confronted it. But it's genuine lies. It's genuine misconceptions. When people are counter-arguing you with asking for evidence and being quite respectful, and you respond like this, you're too far gone. Like, you've completely lost all sense. So, yeah, I feel really bad for everybody who really liked Nerd Slayer and thought he was a more respectable guy. I certainly did. Like, I liked the channel. I saw previous Death of the Games that I thought were pretty good, but this, every time, I don't think I can watch his channel going forward, because every time I watch a new Death of a Game, all I'm going to be thinking back to is how he reacted to someone leaving a nothing burger comment. Like, dead sure is interesting definition nowadays, and his response, it has the same definition it has for 1,000 years. What kind of low IQ statement is this? Actually make a position and relax on showing. No. Nah, dude. Like, that's a bad look. Yeah, this is a huge... Again, that guy earlier where he denoted that the guy leaving the comment had been there for 6 years. The guy had subscribed to you and followed you for 6 years, and you spit in his face. That's exactly like, let's say you own a tire shop, right? And you have this old guy who comes in who's been buying tires from you for 6 years. Every time he needs a new tire, every time he needs a new rim, every time he needs a new patch job, he comes to you for 6 years. Reliable, consistent customer. And then one day he comes in and you're selling a new rim, and he says, rims aren't made nowadays like they used to. That's all he says. And then you scream and holler at him, call him a dumbass, say, get the fuck out of my shop, you disgusting piece of shit. And then on top of it, you denote to him, you've been coming here 6 years, you don't know what a good rim is? You fucking moron, get the fuck out of my shop. Who the fuck thinks that that's a good look? In the moment or otherwise? That's just an embarrassment. So, yeah, I just wanted to denote that because that was on my mind for a few days, and I think it's just comedically bad. Yeah, it's just comedically bad. Alright, so let me get back to the game. Sorry we went on such a tangent. I actually meant to make that shorter, but I think that ended up being longer. But yes, that was interesting. Alright, so how's my inventory? Oh, my inventory is actually pretty full. So let me empty my stuff out.
A fine warrior like yourself. I'm sure I've got just what you're looking for.
Ooh. 32 armor plus the 5 intelligence. I'll take that. Used to watch him a long while ago. Sad to see. Yeah, it's... And again, like, the part that keeps getting me about it, like, the bad reaction on its own, pretty bad, but the part that I keep coming back to in my head is the guy's been on YouTube for forever. Like, this isn't the first time he's had a controversial statement. No one is on YouTube for longer than 2 years without making at least one video where they get a ton of backlash. And to react that way, it's just... it's pitiful. It's really pitiful. Again, if something's going on in his daily life, I guess I can get it from that standpoint, but... eesh. I hope this never happens to you, Asmo. Snapping at my audience? I mean, I don't think it will. I'm pretty certain it won't. Like, don't get me wrong, like, again, I confront people in the comments who say blatant lies about me, or they just make assertions that are completely ridiculous, or they say something so incredulously stupid, I have to laugh at it. But, no, especially if I know someone's been a subscriber for a long time, I'll always, like, even if they leave one comment where they're, like, criticizing me. Like, first of all, criticism is welcome. Like, if you do, like, a fuck up, or there's something about your videos that's wrong, and someone's like, hey, man, can you fix that? Like your audio is not super good. Or, hey, dude, like, the editing here is really choppy. Is there a way you can clean that up? Your reaction as a creator should never be, well, fuck you, you know what you're talking about, you stupid son of a bitch. No. It doesn't matter how they word it. Like, they could be an asshole about it. They could be like, dude, this video fucking sucks. This video fucking sucks, dude. Like, the pacing of this whole video is so terrible, man. Like, you really gotta fix this shit up. In that comment, there's criticism. It's like, hey, the pacing of the video wasn't very good, and that caused this person to have a bad experience. Yes, they didn't word it in the nicest way possible. They're not obligated to. They're the viewership. You're entertaining them. So you gotta read it. You may not like it. You may not leave a heart on the comment, but you gotta read it, and you gotta accept, okay, that's fair criticism. I need to incorporate it in what I do. And again, I'm not a big channel, right? And I know this. Like, this is really basic stuff that again, if you're a small creator, like you're 1,000 subs, 2,000 subs, 3,000 subs even, all the way up to that point, like, it's forgivable, especially if you don't make a lot of controversial content, and then, like, one day you make one, and then people really lose their shit at you out of the blue, and you're not used to it, to react similar to how he just reacted. It's understandable at that rate. They're amateurs, they're new to what they're doing, they're not familiar with the flow and ebb of, like, commentator and creator to commenters. Like, they're not used to that back and forth. But if you've been on the internet and making content, and you've made plenty of controversial stuff, and with Death of a Game, you gotta know he's made at least a few that people were really heated about. You can't react that way. You can't go and say, like, oh, everyone who doesn't agree with me is low IQ and is this, that, and the other. It's not a good look, first of all, just from a PR standpoint, but just as a person, like, you gotta really question what about yourself is so fragile that shit really fucked with you to that extent. But yeah, I don't think I'll ever become that. Like, again, I'll definitely have bad moments, right? Like, and I hope my friends would call me out on it. It's like, hey, dude, you're reacting a little more than you should. You should really cool your head, take a breather. I would hope that, you know, people in my Discord or people in my community would just say, hey, man, you're starting to see red. Calm down. And you got to know some people have said that to him, right? While he was doing all that stuff on YouTube. Like, some people had to have told him, multiple times, like, dude, you're way out of pocket. You need to cool the fuck off. And he didn't. He continued. But I'd like to think that if I do have a heated moment, people would tell me and I'd calm down and have a reflection and be like, okay, this is not the right response. This is not the right, like, I'm way out of pocket. I'm way out of my depth. I'm snapping. I need to stop.
Come again.
The thing that has differentiated you, Asmo, is that when you do get something wrong, you will openly say so rather than brush it aside. Side Scrollers has yet to retract anything about E-Man-G. And yeah, like, I'd like to think I'm able to admit when I'm wrong. I'm human, right? Like, everyone's human. All of us. We're all, and with being human comes flaw. Like, you fuck up. You get things wrong. There's no shame in saying, I was wrong. If you think there's an inherent shame with admitting when you're wrong, you're a problem to yourself and others, because it shows a huge lack of integrity in yourself and generally.
Safe travels.
It's just a terrible look overall, but it's just unhealthy to not be able to admit when you're wrong, because it shows that a level of narcissism. But more aptly, like, narcissism aside, like, I'm armchair, like, diagnosing people here, but it does show a level of ego at the very least. Like, if you don't have enough internal self-respect and an understanding that it's okay to make mistakes, and you genuinely believe yourself to be above getting things wrong, then you really need a reality check. Like, something is wrong with you at that point. Like Dev, for example, right? Short Fat Otaku. He couldn't admit outright, with no qualifiers, I was wrong, to make those implications about Corey, Comparator. He couldn't do that. And look at what that's made him become. Like, look at what that ego does to a person. It makes you pathetic and completely unrespectable. You need to have those reality checks where you're like, listen, I'm a fuck up. I made mistakes. I will make mistakes in the future. That is a guarantee. It's just as certain as death and taxes, as you fucking up and making a mistake. Everyone does it. Now, granted, depending on the mistake, will depend on whether you deserve to get crucified over it or not. Because trust me, there are some mistakes that someone can make that you could have prevented or could have made better choices on the road, and you do have to pay a price for it. But generally, like, just common mistakes like this, like having a take on a video where you didn't back your evidence properly, or you just didn't do your research properly, there's nothing wrong with saying in the comments, like, hey guys, yeah, I'm sorry I didn't have the numbers, but I believe this to be the truth. Or, hey guys, yeah, I made this claim with nothing to back it up. Or this claim was very one-sided. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, that is very vanilla admittance of guilt. And there's only positives to come from being able to admit that you're wrong there. Because you just look at your audience in the eye and say, hey, I was wrong. And now your audience knows they can rely on you to be honest. But that's secondary to the importance of yourself, to be honest. Like, it's more important for your own sake to be able to say the words, I was wrong. And feel it and know it to be true. And not because people pressured you, not because people bullied you into it, not because people said again and again and again and again, nailing it into your thick skull that you made a mistake, and not genuinely believing it, but just trying to get them off your back. No, for you to look in the mirror, say honestly to and about yourself, I made a mistake. I was wrong. And know it to be true. It's very important, in my opinion, it's very important to have that ability to do that. And as for side-scrollers not addressing the E-Man-G stuff, that doesn't surprise me, and I'm not gonna say anything like aspersions-wise about them about that. There could be many reasons that they haven't listed a retraction. There might just be something that they feel is still valid about what he had to say. But I don't know their reasons. I know they saw my video about it because they left a comment. that. I don't know. I'm not gonna... It's not like they've doubled down. It'd be different if side scrollers were like made a video after mine and said where they brought him on and they were, you know, they were like, oh well, we believe he's you know he's still in the right, and they like completely ignored all of the evidence and all the stuff that is in the involved in the case. That'd be different. Like that's bad. But for them just not addressing it again, I'm not gonna. Yeah, there's not as much there. I think worth getting like heated about, because I don't know like Craig and you know Blabs and what they're thinking about it. And despite the fact that I don't like E-Man-G, especially after him leaving out some pretty crucial information or very much painting an improper picture, I still hate GW. Like, let's get that. I think they're in the right here, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it. But so, despite the fact that I'm not a fan of his, and I really didn't like the dishonesty, at the very least, I still don't want him to get sued into the ground. Like that's not something I want in the face of the rest of it. I would like the case to get, you know, not thrown out. Well, no, actually, yeah. If the case were to get thrown out, I would not be unhappy. Like, I don't want him to suffer. And I do hope he either wins his case by some miracle, which I don't see how that fucking happens. It gets thrown out. Like, I'm not, as much as I don't appreciate what he did, I'm still not on GW's side wholesale. Like, I hope, for his sake and for a lot, that he does get through the worst of that legal proceedings and can get on with his life. And I hope he's learned the lesson. You can't copy and paste a file from a video game, pose it, and then just sell it on Patreon. Actually, I think I get XP from destroying these traps. Oh, fuck. That shredded my health. That was bad. Actually, I think my fire shield was down too. Alright, now to make the trek back. But yeah, back to Titan Quest. Ooh. Oh, forgot it deactivates my first ability if I don't have it if I die. There we go. Have I played it says completed bulk gun? I've played it, I have not completed it. Unfortunately. I got stuck on a boss. And I was getting shredded each time, so I didn't... Well, I guess I technically rage quit. I plan on getting back to it at some point. And I want to. It's just, haven't gotten back to that point. A lot of other games, a lot of other stuff has been coming out in the meantime. But I did want to complete it at some point. I'll probably have to lower the difficulty, because if I recall correctly, I had it on the max difficulty. Or second to max, something like that. Vulcan is Gucci? Oh, hell yeah, it is. The Virgin Backwalk. Ah, fuck you, kind. Not all of us could be level 60... What is it, 69? Alright, there we are. Alright, reactivate shield. Gotcha. Anything good? Not really. Now I'm 70. Oh, you finally hit 70, but I need to level because the next boss is level 84 and deals lightning damage while I have a lightning weakness of 75%. Oh, wow. What are you fighting, Zeus? He's fighting the gods. Alright, boom da doom da doom. Actually, that's something I've been thinking of. Typhon. Typhon? Isn't that like something related to the Titans, isn't it? Let me look that up. Typhon. Typhon, the Titan's younger sibling, was both a god and a monster. He had the torso of a man, but his legs were two huge coiled snakes. Ew. Good luck. Have fun. Don't die. Preferably. I hereby declare exterminatus upon the world of Typhon Primaris. If only. I talk so much my throat hurts a little bit. Yeah. I don't know. I have been thinking about that lately, though. I happen to like a lot of content creators over the last just couple weeks to a month. Really either gone mask off or lost their shit in some capacity. Like, there was that debate between Moist Critical and, fucking Nonce Jr. Sneeko is his name? Think so? Can't recall. I don't know, a lot of content creators have, had, really bad moments this last week or so. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I don't want to cover, all the drama here, but it's just generally, it feels weird, doesn't it? Or am I alone here? Like, am I the only one? I don't know. Am I in my corner here thinking that, or I don't know. I don't know how much you guys follow other content creators, but I don't know. Like, Boogie2988 was exposed for lying about cancer, and then there was the stuff with Destiny going mask off for the Trump stuff, and then there was Moist Critical and his debate with Sneeko and his terrible take there. And here's the thing. Sneeko should be like the easiest fucking win ever. That guy's a retard. And a freak and a creep. Yet you ended up going palm for palm with him with a bad take. It's like, what the fuck? It's not even tiny creators. We're talking like the biggest of the big creators are having the Mr. Beast stuff too. Like, don't even get me started on that with the Chris Tyson freak and creep as well. Like, what the fuck is going on? The world's going nuts. Yeah, there was a 2.8 earthquake near where I live. Yeah, we don't usually get a 1.0 or 1.5 earthquake here. Yet we had a fucking 2.8 out of nowhere. Like, I'm like the world, and then there was that eruption that happened in Yellowstone like a month ago now. Not even a month ago, like 3 weeks ago. Like, I am religious, so keep that context. So it does feel very like, okay, can we all chill? I'd like the revelations not to happen during my lifetime, please and thank you. Can the world just chill the fuck out? I don't know, bunch of stuff is just going crazy. It just feels weird. I don't mean to like say all this as like a doomer thing, right? I'm just circling around to see if I see anything gold, but it's just strange. It's just strange. Alright, so I think I've got all the good loot from here. Side quests. Oof. World's going nuts. That's an understatement, Karn. That is an understatement. It's been a time of very high emotion, stress, and many events happening in rapid succession. The sheer amount of drama actually makes sense. I suppose so. But normally there's like a relation between the dominoes of insanity falling apart, right? Like, the Trump shooting leading to the, like, political, like, craziness happening. That makes sense, right? Like, that's all related. And then, like, the Destiny drama in relation to that, where he said some horrifically evil shit and celebrated the death of an innocent person. Dev doing it as well. All that's related. Like, you can see the connection. Like, there's the root, and then then you see the tree trunk and the branches of the attachments. But then you got stuff that's completely unrelated that's going crazy. Like, what does the eruption at Yellowstone have to do with any of that? Hopefully nothing, but, like, what the fuck? And then you got... again, like the Tupinian earthquake that hit near my home, where we normally don't get earthquakes at all. It's all nuts. I'm sorry to disappoint you, Asmo, but a lot us Vulcans. Oh, let me see if I'm reading this right. Ah, spiders! Don't you bite me, you little shits! I'm sorry to disappoint you, Asmo, but a lot us Vulcans are getting active around the globe. Vulcans? Apologies, Yokai, I'm confused. Welcome. How you doing? Hey man, how you doing? Pretty good. Lots of chaos going on. But pretty good. How about you? Volcanoes, I think? Is that it? I'm sorry to disappoint you, Asmo, but a lot of volcanoes. God damn, freaking are getting active around the globe. That's less disappointment and more just stress. It's like, oh yay, more volcanoes are getting ready to go. Still alive, so yay? Well, I'm glad you're still alive. That's certainly a positive in my eyes, I would say. Ah, die. By the way, what? I'm here to respond to you. Have you ever played the Van Helsing game? I'm assuming the movie tie-in one? Not the one based on the film. Then my answer is no. Put the top down. I didn't even know there was one. So, no. Is it just called the Van Helsing game, or... God damn it. It's good if you like things like Titan Quest. So, like a Diablo ARPG clone. Right? The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing. Well, let me look it up. Hold on. Let me move my character over here. The Incredible Van Helsing. Hold on. 7 years ago. Okay. So it was made in a better era. That's already good. It's on PlayStation 4, apparently. Oh, I'm looking for a trailer for it. A lot of it's just people like, hey, well, here's the full game, or here's a guide, or here's... just want a trailer. Alright. I think this is a trailer. Yeah, PlayStation 4. We'll just do this. Alright. You guys are going to get a bit of a cropped view, I apologize, but... That's loud. Alright, me likey, me likey. Alright, we got Skavens. Sorry, Skaven equivalents. Okay, I'm intrigued. Not gonna lie. And aesthetically, I really like the design that they want, like that gothic vibe. I mean, that's only fitting for a Van Helsing game. My question is, I don't know if I want this answered, but I'm just gonna vocalize it. My question is, though, is it going to be entirely centered around Van Helsing versus Dracula, or, and this is like, you know, it's kind of like Castlevania in that sense, where you're going to hunt Dracula, and then you're fighting all his minions all the way up to him? Or is this more of, oh, Van Helsing is not just Dracula's hunter, but is a hunter of, like, all monsters and demons? It's more just like a demon hunter kind of game. It looks really cool. Like, the UI is also pretty interesting. It's got that steampunk kind of vibe. So I wonder, like, how the build, like, the actual build system works, like, with how you allocate attributes and stuff. I'm not gonna lie, I'm very curious now about this. I'm probably gonna see if this is on Steam. This right here kind of reminds me of Diablo 3's kind of UI for, like, their equipment and stuff. I don't say that as a negative, by the way, but this kind of reminds me UI style of that a little bit. And it looks like they have, like, the same Diablo 3 kind of style of, like, the color grading, like, yeah, Lugosi Cave, Lados Cape, Hermes. Okay. Presumably you're playing Van Helsing, obviously. So there's not going to be a lot of character customization, I don't think. Outside of, like, obviously gear stuff. But it doesn't matter, it's an ARPG, it's a little less important. I don't know. Yeah, I'm definitely curious about that. That looks interesting. Oh, might check it out. Oh, thank you so much for the super chat, man. Thank you. Treat yourself on me. Well, I appreciate the generosity. That's very, very appreciated. Thank you. And yeah, I love ARPGs, so, and I like Van Helsing as well. And I used to say that the Van Helsing movie with Hugh Jackman was a guilty pleasure, but to be honest, I'm not guilty about it at all. Like, that is a movie I absolutely adore. And yeah, it's got some cheap elements. Yeah, it's got some rough sides, but it's just an absolute fun fucking ride. It was a great movie. I just don't agree with anybody who trashes on it. And I've seen a few people do that. But that aside, that game, I'm interested. I'm intrigued. This makes me want a Solomon Kane game. A Solomon Kane game like that would also be kind of cool. You can buy the anthology for about €6. Or sorry, not euro. Pounds per sterling. It looked like an E, like that E shape kind of thing for a distance, but no, euro. Nah. Pounds per sterling. Or not pounds per sterling, pounds sterling. Brain. Oh, I definitely consider checking it out. Solomon Kane is based. Actually, let me look it up on Steam. The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing. Wait, it's multiple. Oh, wow. That's a lot of games. I thought it was just one game. They have a tower defense game. Death Trap, which is part of the series. Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing 2. The soundtrack for it. 3. So it has 3 games. Like, are they actually made significantly apart, or are these more like part 1, part 2, part 3 kind of deal things? Let's see. The first game was 2013. Second game, it was made the same year, 2014. Oh, okay, so only a year apart. So it's more of a big DLC. Third game, 2015. So yeah, they're all a year apart. So they're all more like one game that they split up into 3. Kind of interesting though. The third one's got mixed reviews. I don't know. I'll pick it up. Why not? I will play it. I don't know if I'll have time to play it today, but I'll play it. I'll play it on stream. I'm sure you guys would want. Well, I assume anyway. You'd want me to see it. I want to see me play it. So let me. There we go. And I will install it later. Alright, thank you. Sequels. I would love a Conan game. Hey, there is a Conan game. Conan Exiles. It's not an ARPG, unfortunately. But it is a RPG survival crafting game. I like it. I like it quite a bit. It's one of the only fun con games I genuinely love. Yeah, it would be cool to get an ARPG top-down Conan game. That would be cool. I can immediately ditch the staffs. That's basically what I have, but just a slight grid. There we go. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, I figured, but just in case if you didn't know. I love the 360s PS3 Conan game. I don't think I played that one. Too base for modern games industry. A lot of things are, and you'll like the old school God of War games, especially how they were. I can't have those nowadays. You can have the violence nowadays, but the rest of it you can't. That's why the new God of War is not the same tune at all. Not that I dislike the new God of Wars that much. Ragnarok I had problems with, but the God of War PS4 game before it, the first new one, it feels weird to call it, because I know God of War Ghost of Sparta, the old school, and then you have that one. I hate it when when they revamp a franchise or reboot it, they for some reason feel the need to be like God of War. It's like, motherfucker, there was one before it where they had that name. In the same franchise. Give it a number. Be God of War 4. But that's not as catchy. Motherfucker, you're rebooting an existing franchise. Do it. Do you like God of War, Devil May Cry, hack and slash games? I do. They're not my favorite genre. Hack and slash are fun as hell, though. But yeah, I like Devil May Cry. I like, I didn't like the... Gameplay-wise, 5 is not my favorite, but it's not a bad one. God of War Norse. And that would have been better than just God of War. It's like, motherfucker, there's another one that's just called God of War. As Booba? I don't know. Don't sell me too hard. You do not like Ragnarok? Dad of Boy was alright. Still had issues with its story, but the gameplay was enjoyable enough. Though the change of camera is a little annoying. Yeah. Got a lot of these bat fangs. Don't care. Don't care. Yeah, boom.
Farewell!
Actually, do I have enough to cap? I was about to say.
Bye!
Bye! There we go.
Forage for the burdened traveler! Safe travels!
Safe travels to you too, friend!
Hello there! Nothing else?
No. Man, I'm almost level 12, so let's go back to Megara. Made the mother of all monsters a black woman. I wonder what they wanted. What did they mean by this? Who's to say? Don't question it. You question it, things totally fall apart. Oh crap, I forgot there's a... Yeah. Here we go. Hey, cannon fodder, can you do me a favor? Can you be cannon fodder? Well, I guess they took the job seriously. God damn it, fucking troll. Cyclops, I mean. Why do I call him troll? Just all my insecurities made manifest. Actually, wouldn't that be like a fun way to describe how hard a boss is? It's like, hey, dude, in that new Elden Ring expansion, how hard are the bosses? They're so hard, it's like all my insecurities are manifested inside of something. And they're that hard to overcome. It's like, wow, that's pretty harsh. Just die already, you fuck. There we go. Two trailers for it on Discord? Okay, well. Conan and Conan. Let's go grab that one.
This
Okay. Let's check her out.
This game has not yet been rated.
So this is the Conan game from way back when. Feels weird to think of the 360 as a retro console now. Where mercy has no place. And it's a Conan game, so it better not be. One man had no equal. barbarian Sumerian is come. I do like that they have monsters that he fights. Sometimes I think the best Conan stories are when he fights like the big ass fucking monsters. Okay, damn. That was on the PlayStation 3 era. Okay. That looks, yeah, that looks interesting. So it's a hack and slash akin to like God of War, I assume. I assume safely. Yeah, it looks. That was pretty dope. That was pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie, I'm curious. Too bad you said it's not on Steam. Yeah, if it's. I have an old Xbox 360. I think. I don't know if I ever see it on eBay, I might pick it up. Might try it out on the old Xbox. Think it'd be fun. Oh, definitely a flash from the past though with those graphics. Excuse me. They were, I will say this, there's a lot of things from the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 era that I do stand by still look good to this day. A lot of stuff. Oh, the cave's empty. Shame. Gold. The Xbox 360 had some just absolutely baller games back in the day. If there was a console that everyone felt the need to have, it was definitely the 360. Oh, cat people. Level up! Come back here. There you go. Alright, what'd we do with that level up? Definitely want to upgrade that. Slay the cat girls. I intend to. I will say this. I joked when I first saw these to my buddy Karn. I was like, hey, Karn, this kind of look like Navi. He went, no, they're cats. I went, what? He's like, yeah, zoom in. And at a distance, I thought they were they looked like the Navi from Avatar. And then I zoomed all the way in, and I'm like, oh, shit, you're right, they're cats. Scantily clad cat people. But for some reason they have blue fucking skin. I do not know why. Because that's when gamers made games? True. Much better era. And now it's all corporatized. It's gone super crazy. I gotta tell you this. One thing I'm trying to keep in mind when I develop Warglaive is, like, what happens when I'm dead? Like, people have asked me that. It's like hey, what are you going to do to secure Warglaive's future, like, when you die? It was an awkward question I was asked not too long ago, but I was asked. So they say, hey, so, just so it's not taken over and made corporatized or turned into a shit show like 40K has, what are you going to do to secure it? Well, first of all, I'm making a lore Bible, like a proper Bible. It's like, okay, these are all the rules of the universe. This is the beginning, the middle, the end. This is everything. Nothing we can add to it. For sure, but no revisions, no rewrites, no retcons. This is how it is. Don't like it, get the fuck out. Like it, and you can work within the confines of it. Great. Like, that's one thing I'm doing for sure. Try and keep that in mind. As for like when I die, though, to make sure that no one. That's the part that's the hard part. It's like, okay, when I you know, when I die or retire, how do I make sure no one buys this out? That I don't know. Like, I obviously you can't trust anybody really, because George Lucas trusted Star Wars with Disney, and we've seen how that's gone. Granted, he shouldn't have. It's the House of the Mouse, but I don't know. That's the part that I'm shady about. Like, the ideal is if I'm, you know, obviously I'll have kids, and I'm hoping to pass the franchise and the business related to it to them, and the passion for it to them. But you can't guarantee that, right? Like, you can't ensure, you know, a hereditary like pass on of a franchise and an IP. You know, well, what if my kids don't like wargaming? What if they think it's stupid? What if they think it's silly? You know, like, there's no way to. So the best thing I'll have to do is probably find somebody like as I get older, right, with it. Probably around the time I'm like 50 or 60, I'm retirement age, and probably find someone like an understudy or an employee within the, you know, under me that works on Warglaive that I think actually has the passion for it, actually understands it and loves it, and sees it for what it's supposed to be and what it should be, and they won't be easily or even possible to corrupt with enough dollar bill signs. You know, maybe like hand over the reins to them is probably the best I'll have to do. Sounds kind of dramatic though when you put it like that, but it's probably going to be something like very offhanded. My shield bash is supposed to replace my auto attack? No, it's not. Doesn't make any sense. Why would... So I'm just supposed to bash everybody? Doesn't make sense. Let's just... Okay, fine. That's gonna look so stupid though, like you shield bashing everything? Oh, I think I get it. So it does the initial shield bash and then switches to your main hand. Funny, isn't it? It is strange, like it reads like it's supposed to be a secondary ability you use. Oh, I forgot to allocate stats, hold on. Actually, no. Let's get Dex, Strength. Yeah, do that. It's all well and good, but then you have moments like that where your ability refuses to activate and attack anything. Which has happened to me a little too frequently. Like, I'll press Q to activate my shield, my blazing shield thing, and then it won't activate. It's like, I'm pressing it. How you been, buddy? I've been pretty good. I don't know if you're talking to me, though. You talking to me? Are there pirates in Warglaive? There's raiders. I mean, depends on, like, how direct to the term pirate do you want to be? Like, are there Yarhar Mihoda Yohos? No. Are there raiders, pirates of the less literal sense? Yes. There's bandits, there's raiders. Yeah. They're not going to be a playable faction on the tabletop, certainly not initially anyway. Maybe we add one added in later. But each faction does deal with them. And then, of course, the Rathans, they are the raiders in the universe. That'd be a fun open call, Mike. The state of the industry and what's happening? Maybe. That could be a good one. You have to head off, enjoy your game. Oh, see you later, the fluffy lord. Yes, also thank you for the recommendation of Van Helsing. Never forgive Kennedy. No, never. The only way is to make public domain upon death. Maybe. I will say this, if I can't find someone I trust to take it over, that'll probably be what happens. It's like, alright, when I die, make it open domain. I would prefer to leave it in the hands of someone who's going to be consistent with it and keep it in like a strong, consistent vision, especially to what I wanted. But when I think about it, it's like, is it better to just let everybody touch it when I die? If I can't find that, probably. Alright, see you later, Singsara. Thank you for hanging out, mine. How you been, buddy? I've been pretty good. World's kind of crazy at the moment. Would just Gatling gun someone in the face. Are you holding down the left button when you try to cast? If so, your character will walk to that spot and to activate it. No, I'm tapping. Yeah, for example, I'm pressing Q right now. The ability's not activating. There we go. Boom. Actually, I just realized, maybe it's because I have to have my cursor over my character to activate it? If so, that's kind of silly. When you have no companions, it should just automatically be like, oh, okay, he's trying to activate it for himself. Not trying to buff my enemies with it. There we go. Whoa. Oh, I was in here earlier. Okay. Damn Toros. Fucking bastards. Look at the general option. Is it this one? Enable quick cast. Yeah, it's looking like I have to target my character. If you like older games, the Kingdom Under Fire games are on Steam. Classic hack and slash, but you'll lead and upgrade units like Total War Warhammer, but you can go third person to fight too. Mm. Okay, that sounds interesting. I might check that out. Might do so indeed. Alright. I'm getting a bunch of game recommendations today. My wallets can't handle everything. There we go. Hello, Turtle. Hello. There we are. Oh, Star, we got a boss. Come back here. Come on. There we go. Some of the hit detecting physics of the of the NPCs in this game is so fucking funny. Like, it melted through the floor, and it's only its feet and its tail are holding it up in the map. That's happened all like quite frequently. Like every time I beat the Cyclops, like he like falls through the map except for his head and his limbs. So he's just like, Hurr. Fucking toes. Weird creatures, that's what they are. Very weird creatures. Alright, moving through. Come here, you little shit. Alright, mine and energy potion, thank you. Go back to the hills from which you ascend. Alright, there we go. Good. No patience. All good shit. Keep me alive in this grand scheme. Okay, so that's just another path up. There we go. Oisha. Yep, send to us. Come here, you fucking holy shit. Yep, I'm good. Don't kill me.
Your inventory is full.
Thank you for the reminder system. That was scary. I run up on him ready to go, and it's just I see my health. It's like, you can, man. Don't wish to die. As far as passing on Wargrave, what you do is that when you are old, you summon your chosen inheritors and give them a mystical, life-changing quest to prove who is worthy of the IP. What kind of quest would that be? Alright, I want all of you to go on this legendary quest. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'd send each of them on a journey to meet each of my friends who've been with me along the way. So I'd send each of them to visit Ball, Nathan, Karn, Tang, and Nico, probably. Yeah. And then finish their journey back in the US with meeting Ludus. And then when they come back to me, it's like, alright, what have you learned about not only Wargrave, but me? Like, well, you were a real shitster, Grandpa. It's like, outside of that. Hey, Lotus. Wait, were you here earlier, or... I have a brain fart. Yeah, you were here at the beginning of the stream. Welcome back. Did you get checked up on? How's your pain? Did he be alive at that time? Hopefully. Well, the thing is, my ideal plan is to you know, have have my inheritors set up before retirement age. So I'd like to retire at 65 to 70 years old. I don't want to retire at 90, right? Don't get me wrong. Like when I say retire, I'll probably have by then a very paranoid proclivity around Warglaive, so I'd probably still show up at the office every day. It's like, didn't you retire, sir? It's like, yes, I retired. Now, is they doing any fuck shit with my shit? No, sir? Good. You're at the ER now. Oh, okay. Well, I hope they can help you with whatever's going on, man. But, yeah, if I'm 65, right, or 70, I would hope, you know, Karn, Tang, and the rest would all be alive still. Hopefully none of them being senile at that point, because they'll be like 80, 90 years. Well, no, they'll be like 70 or 80 at that point. But, yeah, hopefully they'll be alive. I'd like my friends to live much longer than me. That would be the ideal. Okay, let me walk back. Hold on. I need to port back to Magara. There's pain management at this point, fluids and all that good stuff. Well, I hope the good stuff is doing its job, man. Karn will outlive us all when the applicants come to him. He'll be like Mr. Miyagi and make them do his chores as training. Probably. Cutting quips the entire time they're there. Ooh. Don't worry, just in case I die, I'll come back as an Archlich. Perfect. 630, no, don't need that, don't need that. Keep that.
Nothing else?
No.
Storage for the burdened traveler. Your goods are safe with me. Good day. Bye.
All right. Oh. Okay. Port back. Murder some more. Sounds good to me. Alright, where's Stuff, there we go. I love to see the gold. The ragdolling is very funny. Bang! Bang, motherfucker, bang! Die, you filthy goatmen. Moving on through. Boom. Cat people, time to purge the world of the fairies. I am doing a public service to all creation to annihilate you. Are they all women? I don't think I've kept track. But yeah, I think they're all women. Back off. Hello, Asmo. Star Wars Bounty Hunter got a remaster that released the other day. Oh, how's it? Was it remastered by the same people who did the Battlefront one? If so, I don't care. In fact, I actively encourage everybody to avoid it. If it's done by different people, Asper. That's someone different? I can't remember. Now you gotta make me Google it. Ooh, remastered. Battlefront. Oh god, it's the same people. I ain't touching it. I ain't touching it with an 80-foot pole. Fuck that. Hell no. Fuck that shit. No. No. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. That is the only red flag I require. It's a trap, yes. Because I played the old school Bounty Hunter game. I think it was on like the PlayStation 2, I think. I remember playing that game way back when, and it was janky, but it was kind of fun. But I ain't touching her. Edward Bay, thank you so much for the £5. Thank you, man. Somewhat of a poopy week, but always fun to watch our favorite ginger and what's the TLDR Stormgate and have some tea money. I appreciate the tea money. I drink Yorkshire Gold. I don't actually drink tea. But, I already did it earlier if you want to watch, like, it from the beginning. But, obviously, you're here, so. Quick rundown. Stormgate, is just a copy and paste of StarCraft 2. Like, when I say that, I don't mean that derogatorily. I mean, like, in the most genuine sense, it is just a copy and paste of StarCraft 2. Like, each faction, direct one-for-one, essentially. Outside of aesthetic. Like, functionality, way they play, way they feel. Even the unit types. Like, it's just almost one-for-one for StarCraft 2. It's just the aesthetic is legally distinct. Okay, and Klupox. I apologize if I misread your name. Welcome to stream. Have you played Arcanum yet? Arcanum. Well, the name doesn't immediately strike me. Arcanum. Of Steamworks and Magic Obscura? Arcanum of magic of that, or is it something else? I don't believe so. Yeah, it's from 2001 apparently. Looks even older than 2001. Looks like a 90s game. But no, I don't believe I played this. Developed by Troika. I do not know them. But no, I have not played that. Funny seeing another Morty person here. I guess so. Like a lot of Morty and Glory is probably like the best channel for 40k right now. Like especially if you're talking tabletop and fun streams, like total peak. It's so fun seeing him stream. His energy is so perfect every time. Not gonna lie, I envy that. I envy having that like, ooh, power. He should be a hype man. Yeah, I wouldn't expect too much of an overlap between our audiences, though. Though we both cover 40k, I'm far more like into like covering the controversial stuff lately. I would like to get back to more fun stuff, but it's hard to find the enthusiasm sometimes, especially when you know about all the controversial stuff. He's just so happy all the time. I know he's like a golden retriever. I'm like a pit bull. I have my cute moments, but most of the time I'm intimidating as all hell. And aggressive. I say that, but most of the pit bulls I've encountered have actually been quite docile. But they had good owners. That's the thing. Any dog is, even if the breed has a reputation of being like super aggressive or something, with the right owner, any dog can be just an absolute fruitcake. It's a stash of Panzer chocolates. I'm not in the tourney scene, but I enjoy listening to him. I mean, yeah, like again, he makes everything feel just so alive. Like that is Mordian's talent. Like he just brings out the best in the audience and the energy. It's again like he should be a hype man. Like I would hire him to hype me up at like an event or something. He's just got that natural charisma. Oh shit, they're about to kill me. No you don't, you fucking goat fuckers. Oh shit. Time to make some roast pork cutlets. There we are. Back off, crow. There we are. But yeah, the TLDR on Stormgate, like I said, it's just a copy and paste. I mean, if you guys want, I'll read my review off again. Like I left the review on Steam for it, and I said it earlier in the stream. I guess I'll do it real quick again for those who didn't hear it. But it sums up my thoughts like perfectly. I mean, it's my review, so one would hope. But what I said on my Steam review was, and I got it refunded because after the first hour and a half, because I knew what it was by that point, and I was like, nah. But what I said, the game is a really shallow copy and paste job of StarCraft 2. I wish that was hyperbole, but to be entirely honest, I feel that's just the plain and honest truth. Each faction is just a near exact copy of their StarCraft counterparts. Vanguard are just StarCraft 2 Terrans with less diverse, not cringe DEI diverse unit selections, which applies to all of the other factions, to be fair. The worker units have the same voice lines as the SCVs from StarCraft 2, just in a dead robot voice, and they feel out of place. All of the other units can be traced back to an equivalent they've been reskinned from. Exos are just Marines, Vulcans are just Thors, etc. The Infernals are just the Zerg from StarCraft 2 with a reskin, so much so they have a creep mechanic renamed to something else but functions the same, and their units sacrifice themselves to build structures. The demons are all really lame and toned down from what they could have been, both aesthetically and gameplay-wise. Additionally, they have all the same problems as Vanguard with poor unit diversity. The Celestials are just reskinned Protoss from StarCraft 2. They have pylon equivalents, which will be just as annoying as the original article, a limit of structure building outside the range of the pylons and units that are very clearly reskinned zealots, etc., etc. Honestly, the worst part of this shameless copy and paste job of the factions isn't just the blatantness of it, it's the uncompelling sanitized aesthetic they all have. It took the already toned down gringy vibes all the StarCraft 2 factions had from the first game and ran them through an Overwatch filter. Drowned it in bleach and powdered it in DEI cringe. On paper, everything in summary sounds super cool and compelling. An RTS where 3 factions vie for dominance. The Human Vanguard, whose tenacity and adaptability carry them into the fight. The Infernal Host, literal demons from the pits of hell coming to cull all life and dominate in hellish bloody fashion. And the Celestial Armada, an alien race of angels coming to purge the Infernal Host and all those they may corrupt. Yet, in execution, it's also lackluster and apathetic. It's like Frost Giant Studios forgot that they were free from Activision Blizzard and weren't beholden to the limits of their established franchises, neither from a gameplay standpoint nor an aesthetic one. I'm sure there are plenty of RTS-hungry madmen out there that will play and love this game regardless of all this, given this type of RTS hasn't been revived in over a decade, but I'm not so starved as to have forgotten what my last meal was. And I can't say my last meal with all the flavor, seasoning, and presentation ripped out of it is a compelling dish I'll waste my time on. Seriously, just play StarCraft 2. It's free and you get the same exact experience with at least a bit more soul in it. And that was my review over on Steam. And I stand by it. And the thing is, I know people are going to, and I said this earlier, and I guess I'm repeating a couple points here. I know people are going to make the argument that it's in early access, so, give them time, they'll fix this, yada, yada, yada. But early access is the finished game. It's just they're going to update it with the criticisms. That's really what early access is nowadays. It's like, oh, we finished the game, but we're not saying we finished it because we're putting it out there. And we want to see what the feedback is and make changes based on that. But it's essentially finished. So anything that they do now is just going to be slight edits. They're going to do some cleanup. They're going to do some bug fixes. That's what the early access is for. But my problems aren't with elements that can't be fixed from an early access. We're not talking a bug here. We're not talking an error here. We're not talking an audio glitch here. We're talking the design from the ground up. You sounded very British for a bit. I did. I don't know. Thank you, I guess. I know. Maybe my brother-in-law's weighing on me. He's from England, so Essex, I think. But we and him talk all the time these days, so I suppose his accent is bleeding on me. But yeah, the problems I just laid out, they're not fixable from an early access at all. From the design up, the problem is the game itself is just a copy and paste of StarCraft 2. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. Bristle Bash. Plus 20% physical damage chance for one of the following: 5 to 13 bonus damage, 5 to 14 piercing damage, 9% poison resistance, plus 27 health, plus 13 defensive ability, plus... Oh, okay. That's pretty good. I'll take it. He has a lot of people on our side of the fence in his Discord. He literally got personally involved to put a weirdo mod in their place. That's good. I might check out that. I might check out Arcanum. I've got 7 game recommendations today. It's been interesting. Gothic remake is so good. There's a new trailer for the Gothic remake. I wish the Poor Armor podcast wasn't riding Bricky's dick. Are they? I don't know. I don't watch them much these days. Sorry, excuse me. I don't watch them much these days, the Poor Armor podcast. I started watching their podcast episodes here and there, but they got really repetitive at one point to me, like the tone and as well as like the dry delivery about a couple things. I don't know. I guess I'm no one to talk in that regard because some of my stuff could be pretty dry, I guess, but I don't know. I didn't watch them that much, but how are they riding Bricky's dick? Actually, have they even mentioned him, or is it just like they're repeating a lot of the same things he said? I don't know. I lost all respect for Bricky in regards to 40k when it came to his like blasé attitude with the femstodies shit. Like, I knew he was a woke lefty. Like, everyone who watched Bricky knows that. Like, it's pretty clear. But I thought he was pretty good at keeping it out of his videos for the most part. Like, he kept his videos pretty contained to the games in question and the video games and talking about them from a meme, not objective, but a meme kind of fun way and talking about what he liked about him, what he didn't. And it never really bled into, like, him bringing politics up, which I liked. But the blasé attitude he had about it, it's like, dude, like, why are your like, I don't get this for a lot of people. It's like, why are your politics so much more important than your escapism and your enjoyment of life? It's like, whenever it, for that type of person, it's like they're so dominated by their political opinions that if it comes down to it, it's between like the integrity of this fandom and this thing that you like, and this thing that you claim to be a fan of, or or calling out your politics ruining it. You will always choose to back your politics every time, which is, it's annoying. It's exceedingly annoying. If you do, grab the GOG version. Oh, okay. Is there something wrong with the Steam version? He does their merch stuff on his channel, and he's on their podcast. Ah, okay. They also just started parroting his points on femstody stuff. Great. All of his points were garbage. Like, he had no good points in regards to the femstody stuff. That's just a joke. But that doesn't surprise me. They probably align politically. Politics matters more than our fandoms these days, unfortunately. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Them going on a rant, shaming people who didn't like it. I mean, Bricky already did that in his own stuff, so that doesn't surprise me that they would just parrot it. It's pathetic. It truly is, but what can you say? And at the end of the day, it's nothing surprising. Again, if you're of the woke ideology, that ideology matters more than your fandoms. It matters more than your family. It matters more than breathing. Don't believe me? Look at what Destiny said. Oh, fuck, I got completely taken over on that one. And Destiny's a great example of what the woke ideology is. What was his response when people asked on stream? It's like, hey, what if your parents went to a rally and got shot? He said he would feel absolutely nothing about it. Like, that's how much the ideology matters more to them than anything else. It's the most important thing in their life, is the woke ideology. It's like a religion. Their family be damned, their lives be damned, their fandoms be damned. It's not more important than their political psychopathy. And that's why I vehemently fight against it and call it out and call it for the bullshit that it is. Because I'll tell you this, if my family is more important than my politics every goddamn day. I have a few lefty members of my family, and I absolutely despise their takes. They're terrible takes. They have horrible takes about a lot of things. But would I be like, oh, if my parents went to a Biden rally or a Harris rally and got shot, I'd be like, oh, well, it was their choice, so I'm not going to feel bad about it. I'm not going to feel sad about it. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. No, I would never fucking say that. I would lose an immense amount of sleep over it. I'd be sickened to my core to even consider that as a thought. That's the thing. I have a soul. You eat up the woke ideology, you give up your soul. I've been asked in the past, and I'll say it again. It's an evil ideology. And the reason people don't think it's evil is it's wrapped in a veneer of equality. It's wrapped in a veneer of love and welcoming, and it pays all the lip service to something good. Yeah. Speaking of, it was basically, oh my god, lore changes all the time, guys, stop being bigots, fuck off. That argument's such bullshit. The lore, like, the way they phrase it, they're always like, oh, the lore constantly changes. Like, oh, every other week there's this huge shift in the lore. No, that's bullshit. That's an absolute lie. That is such a lie. And if you were an actual fan of 40k, you would know that's a lie. That's a disgraceful comment. You're no fan of 40k. You're no fan. That's just a lie. There have been like 3 significant major retcons in the last 20 years of 40k lore. 3. Oh, it happens all the time. 3 times we've had a significant major shift in the 40k lore in the last 20 years. It's ridiculous. Ugh. It disgusts me. It really does. Like, if you're gonna cope about your bullshit, at least stop lying and pretending you care. Like, that shit pisses me off. Speaking of fem stories, I'm working on a Cult of Imhotep themed pulp army for Conflict 47. Oh, cool. My second lieutenant is an Aksunamun. I had to paint a gold medal bikini. That was highly... Hey, good reference. That was the Mummy movie's so fun. You working on any Word Bearers cult? Cool. I'm humming and hawing on getting a Dark Eldar combat patrol for Yunari. Yeah, you do you, man. Like, for me, if I want anything for 40k now, I either go to eBay and find secondhand, or I 3D print it. I don't get anything for GW anymore. Think about getting a Tomb World kill team. Just 8 Immortal Necrons, simple and easy. That'd be cool. Use Etsy instead. I'd recommend it. It's gonna be pricey, but to be quite frank, it's not gonna be much pricier than GW themselves. GW just like that. Good. I hope they choke on a dick. Yeah, you can find some pretty good deals on eBay. eBay is a great spot if you are trying to avoid buying directly from GW. Because there's so many other people pissed off to the point they're leaving the hobby, so they're selling a bunch of their shit on eBay. And you can find it for, I won't say cheap. Cheap's a relative term. But you can find it for slightly less than what GW would sell it to you for. Yeah, Mummy movies are great. They're Brendan Fraser deserves so much better than what Hollywood did to that guy. Then again, I guess that applies to quite a few people at this point. But yeah, by almost good man. Never buy directly from GW. Even before the boycott stuff, right? Like, you should never have bought from them to begin with. Not directly, because you can always find something, anything that they sell on eBay or Facebook Marketplace. You can always find anything that they sell for new quality or barely touched quality for really cheap. I'll tell you this, like, the best I said this before in a previous stream, but I'll repeat it here. The best sales you'll ever get for 40k will always be at yard sales. or garage sales. You will rarely find anything 40k in those, but when and if you do, you almost always find it from that old lady who has no fucking clue how much it's actually worth.
Oh, this is from my grandson, little Timmy. He's off to college now, and he never opened these funny little boxes of toys, so I'm selling them to you now.
Well, how much do you want for it, Miss Hoggle?
Oh, well, it's just a toy, and you have to assemble the thing, my lord. How's $20 sound?
For a big, like, Battle Force box? You're like, yes, ma'am! Part of you's guilty, you're taking advantage of her ignorance, but you're like, hey, ain't my job to research it. I don't know. I have, like, actually told, like, a couple people at yard sales that I was like, hey, you're selling this for way low. Like, this is actually worth quite a bit. So 50% off a combat patrol is pretty good. I'd say so. Hey, that even song. Welcome back. Fucking Wi-Fi dropped out. How? Oh, wiped out. Yeah, last time I saw your comment was forever ago. I'm doing pretty good. You came back at a good time. How you doing? Game's going pretty good. Making some progress. We were talking about secondhand selling and yard sales and garage sales again. Got an unopened box of first edition Hero Quest for $20. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Like, you can find some freaking baller. That's why you should never buy directly from GW or sellers of, like, those types of things. You always find something cheaper. I'll tell you this, like, my biggest regret at a yard sale was when I was 18, and I just like, it was the day before my paycheck was supposed to come in for my job at the time, and I was broke. Like, I had $20 left to my name. And I was at a yard sale just hanging out with my sister because she wanted to go yard sale jumping, and I wanted to spend time with her. So we were hanging out, and I see in the garage, as like on top of a pile for $15, if I recall correctly. This is back in 2018, so. But for $15, there was a 3rd edition, if I'm not mistaken, 3rd edition Dungeons and Dragons rulebook. Or Player's Handbook. It was Player's Handbook rulebook. Just double checking it. Yeah. So yeah, this. It was a 3rd edition Player's Handbook for D&D. In pristine condition, might I add. I looked it over, I picked it up, I turned it around, I looked it over. And for $15, a pristine condition. It had been cracked open, obviously, like all the pages had been flipped. There was a couple like folded parts of the page, but for how old it was, $15 in that condition. And to this day, I'm like, I wish I had the money. Yeah, I had $20, but that's not $20. That's $20 a day before I had to get my paycheck, and I knew I had other stuff I had to buy that day. So I was like, I almost asked my sister to get it for me, but I hate asking her to get me shit because she always holds it over me. It's one thing. That's a habit she'll never get out of, I don't think, and she never got out of it while we were kids. So. Yeah, she always holds over me like she does me favors and stuff, and then blackmails me with it emotionally. I love her, but she does do that quite often. It's like, hey, can you do this thing? It's like, I really don't got time. I got stuff I want to do right now. It's like, hey, remember that time, like 12 years ago, I did this thing for you? It's like, fine. Emotional damage. Yeah. Piggy. Pork roast. Surrounded by piggies. I'm gonna turn you into bacon. Fresh with eggs and sausage. There we are. Monstrous boar. Actually, they kind of make the same sounds as the Warcraft pigs. That kind of behavior is why I hesitate whenever someone offers to get stuff for me. Yeah, pretty much. That's what's definitely made me like awkward about it as I've gotten older. Like I always expect like I never see a gift as a gift. I always expect, oh hello, a noble centaur. So not a filthy wild barbarian. An actual noble centaur.
Gentle greetings, good traveler. What, are you surprised to find a centaur not crazed with war and hatred?
Yes.
My name is Chiron. I
You?
am pleased to meet you. Sadly, I have a problem that I cannot solve.
Well, maybe I can solve it for you.
You see, I have long dwelt in these woods at peace with all the creatures. But recently, they have gone mad. Worst of all, I know, the Maenad priestess. When I stopped by the stream to drink, she surprised me, stole my magic bow, then ran into a cave. Warrior, I am a centaur. We are not fit for caves. In that dark, cramped space, we cannot fight well. You would do me the kindness of retrieving my
Yeah,
bow.
cool. What's the catch?
I
Exactly.
will gladly share with you my great store of wisdom and learning.
Yeah, I always hesitate with gifts, with receiving gifts, especially if it's like that's why holidays like Christmas and yeah, I guess like my birthday's my holiday, but you know, like birthdays and stuff like that's why I like those so much is because those were always times I knew it's like okay, there's not gonna be a catch to this. There's not gonna be like it's not gonna be like okay, I did this thing for you, now you owe me kind of thing. That's why I like those holidays. You know, the gifts themselves were obviously great, but it's knowing that the gifts didn't have a catch attached to them. It was knowing that it was just fun kindness. Yeah. Back off, you crows. Crow. Filthy crows. .33 armor. My god. Kind of tempted, but the health regeneration I have on my current gear is a little bit more important. Alright, so he mentioned a cave. Is that over here? Nope, doesn't look like it. Okay then. Oh, there's the cave. Alright, let's go retrieve his bow. Ah, cat women. Filthy maenads. Horny wenches. Horny drunken wenches at that. I still don't know why they're blue. It sounds so strange when they die. Ow. Shrine of experience. Good. Fuel my progression upwards. Give me shit. Thank you. Back off. There we go.
You can't carry anymore.
Fuck. I'll be right back. I need to sell some shit.
strike me as a bow and arrow sort.
You would be wrong. I have a bow at current, but it's not for me.
Satisfaction guaranteed.
I thank you. Fine, sir. There we go. Alright, pour it back. Boom. Beautify. I don't know if I can show it too well, but I did finish the commission I had for my client. So, for those who watch my last few painting streams, this is the big guy in question. Again, probably can't see him too well because how the webcam works. But he looks pretty good. Actually, I guess I could show you guys. I know I took pictures. I sent my client. I could show him on stream here. Better close up than trying to do it with my webcam. Yeah, he's all good to get mailed out. And the varnish finished today, so he's pretty much all dry. I am very proud of my work. Yeah, I gotta get started on Rogel Dorn soon, too. That's gonna take a while. Actually, I might be able to save some time on that one. A little bit. Not much. Alright, so let's return to the Centaur and give him his stuff. This is a tiny cave. There you are, sir.
My bow. Splendid. Warrior, you have my gratitude. And as I am noble, I am good to my word. Let me bestow my thanks.
Oh, I got 2 attribute points. Really? Okay. Oh, attribute points. Right. These. Thank you, good centaur. Alright, I think... Alright, so I'm good to move into this town here. Village of Ambrosus. I think I'll like it here. I can't say why. The architecture is truly compelling. It's truly fascinating. Alright, I'm supposed to talk to someone here, aren't I?
A blacksmith of remarkable skill lives in the hills by Helicos
I can see your
Pass.
personality.
Some say the god Hephaestus
Both of
himself
them.
taught Termerus his craft. He's friendly, but he keeps to himself. If you can find him, he will sell to you at a fair price. If he likes you.
Master Blacksmith. Intriguing.
I see you've traveled a long road, stranger. Come, have a look. I might have something to suit your needs.
I doubt it.
Thank you.
I was on my way from Delphi with some goods to trade. I had just set up camp amongst some nearby ruins when I heard the rattle of bone and smelled the scent of death. I looked up and saw skeletons everywhere. They didn't seem too friendly, so I ran. As far as I'm concerned, whoever
What skeletons
finds my
would be
goods
friendly?
can have them.
They didn't seem too friendly. Are there friendly skeletons? If so, this is a new development. Oh, there's no portal in that town. Huh. Or is there? And I looked right past it. Hold on. No, there's no portal. Odd. Alright, I'm gonna call a stream there for today, guys. I have to do some cleanup around the house, so I will be a bit busy till later. But I would like to thank you all very much for coming to the stream and hanging out and chatting and listening to me rant about Stormgate, as well as Nerd Slayer stuff, and also having fun playing some Titan Quest. Also, thank you for the game recommendations. I've now got a bunch of stuff I gotta try. Thank you guys so much. I hope you all have an amazing day. A fantastic time. Hope the weekend treats everybody well and nothing else like crazy happens in the next few months. Fingers crossed. Got some more cleaning to do too. Thanks for the stream. No problem. Thank you all. Love ya. Catch you guys later. Bye-bye.